Let me unmute myself. That'll be good. Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. And before we move forward, let's cue that intro. Yes, people. Welcome back. Another week, another load of football. Obviously, we've got Southampton tomorrow. We'll be doing we're doing a preview to that tomorrow. Obviously, I was at the game over the weekend, so unfortunately, I couldn't actually do the review show. However, today's show is going to be a bit of both. We're going to do a review. We're going to do a debate. I'm going to say a debate, but a little talk about Kai Havertz, because I noticed it more when I was at the game. I felt like there was a lot of people talking about Kai Havertz, and it's sort of a mixed opinion in terms of how they feel about him. Some people think he's started very well and we need to give him a bit more time. Some people think he's not as talented as people think he is. He's not good enough. And the whole reason of making this stream is to maybe just discuss that with you guys and understand from the community if that is the real feel right now in terms of Kai Havertz. What are we feeling? What are we expecting from him? Do we think he can progress to become a better player? Does he just need time? We're going to talk about that. But it was interesting because it sort of triggered me. It triggered me to do this more because of what I saw at Stamford Bridge. Obviously, I was at Stamford. People that didn't know, I was at Stamford Bridge over the weekend for the game against Norwich. Obviously, we won 7-0, so it was a very good game to be tuned into as well. 7-0. Great win. People would moan it was Norwich. Some people would say that they were poor, we weren't great, etc., etc. I thought we were very good. I thought we performed very well at a high level. The players that we set out, Havertz, Mount, Cho, Kovacic, Jorginho, all stepped up. And I was sitting in the shed upper. So I don't know if you see the little clip I put up on GNA yesterday after the game. We had a great view of the pitch from one end to the other. And I'll tell you what, it had everything. It did have everything. Goals, a bit of drama with VAR, obviously Mason Mount missing that penalty and then being able to take it again. And, I'm happy because one of the things I said before I got to this game, I said, if we draw or lose to Norwich, I am not going to another Chelsea game again. Because the last game I went to at Chelsea, we lost to Man City 1-0 at home. And it ended up being the complete opposite. So, guys, before we move forward, please smash the like button. Please help me get to 30 likes. I am slightly under the weather today, to be honest. I was struggling to actually put this stream together, but because I hadn't streamed over the weekend, obviously we had the watch along yesterday, and I wanted to make sure that I could try and do that with you. So my energy levels are a bit lower than what I usually am, but I want to be consistent. I want to keep talking with you guys. I want to talk about Chelsea. That's what we're here to do always. Doesn't matter if I'm ill, not ill. I'm here. So big up to everyone that's in the chat with me as well. I appreciate that. Big up to Andre, who's in that house. Kings of CFC as well. He says, what's up? He says, we need to play Havertz as a right wing, to be honest, since he plays with his left foot and that it is in his natural position. And when we play Havertz, we must play Cho. They have the best link up out of all our attack. And I agree, because I was at the game and obviously they played well against Malmo, I thought as well. The link up there was where we thought, wow, actually something decent here, But in the Norwich game, you got to see it a lot more. They linked up very well. The alternation, the switching between the two. Havertz never really held his position up front. He always sort of went right, went left, and etc. etc. But we're going to delve into him very soon. The lines are going to be open as well because it is an open discussion debate show. For me, it's understanding your feelings and opinions on Kai Havertz as we speak right now, because it's, like I said, I feel like it's a bit up and down in the air. I'm going to go through some of the Twitter comments that we got here as well. We've got a couple of tweets that we've been going through as well on Twitter, which I'd like to highlight. Bro, at the moment, he cannot play a inside forward. We already must already mount Cho and Ziyech. I hear that because we've got too many people that can play in front of him, is what you're saying. I hear that. Ziyech won't be playing much. Cho will be rotated. Ziyech came on, he done his bit. Was it great? Some people would say it was decent-ish. It was, he done what he could. Big up to Abs. He says Havertz is a quality footballer. He needs to play as a number 10 though. Some people would disagree with you on that. And this is why the debate is on Havertz, because no Lukaku, no Werner, He's our only recognised false nine, someone that can maybe lead the line, hold the ball up, tall, quick, link play, movement's very good. And this is why it's interesting to have this discussion now. And we probably have a Havertz one near the end of the season just to see how he performs. But we'll see. Norwich was a proper cooking. It was. And I was happy that I was there, man. I was so happy I was there. I went out after. We had a couple of drinks. It was good, man. It was good. 5-0. Well done to you, Velv. You did body him. But they're in absolute shambles, mate, at the same time. It was quite easy, I would say. I don't think Liverpool were great yesterday. I just thought it was easy. That's right. Liverpool played well. They just wasn't great, I would say. I just thought Man United were just poor, if that makes sense. But who else is in the chat before we move? Hey, he's a lot of going back and forth with each other. So, yeah, look, just a quick review on the game, because obviously I haven't been giving you that as well. A very good performance. Great goals. The first, I was behind the goal in the first half. So I saw the Mason Mount, the Cho, and the Reece James chip, little lob. Good finishes. We broke them down. I felt like we were playing within ourselves a little bit, and then we moved the ball quicker. And once we started moving the ball quicker, they just couldn't contain it. Every time they tried to shut the ball, it'd been moved, and we just bodied them. We just absolutely roasted them. I was right next to the Norwich fans as well, funny enough. And these were at the end of the game, singing along with us because we were singing them that they were going down, and they were singing as well. We're going down. It was so funny, man. It was quite funny, not gonna lie. But yeah, it was a good game, and Mason Mount, when I talk about some quick individuals, Mason Mount stepped up. A lot of criticism on him on his performances. Had a very good game. Got his 3 goals. Kovacic, very good, moving the ball progressively. One of the things that we've done very well in that game between Jorginho and Kovacic, which I noticed, which is working, is even though they like to do the 1-2s between each other, they're now looking at the runs that are in front of them and making them passes. You look at the Callum Hudson-Odoi goal. When we played the ball through, Callum Hudson-Odoi picks it up 1-on-1 with the goal. He plays it into the bottom corner. That is because our midfield, our deep line midfield, our sixes are looking up and making that pass quicker. Jorginho done it for the Reece James goal. I think it was. He picked the ball at middle, played it quickly into Mount, then played it through to Reece James. Reece James lobs a goalie, and we're in. That's because we're playing progressive. That's because we're imposing ourselves on them, and our forwards are making runs and we're finding them. One of the issues I had with sort of the beginning of the season, moving like for the first 5-6 games, wasn't moving the ball quick enough. It wasn't moving the ball quick enough. It was always sideways, backwards. And now we're starting to do this. And maybe Tuchel's got in their ear, been in training with them, told the midfielders to be more progressive. It worked. I wanted Ruben to start that game. He didn't. He came on the second half. But, Jorginho and Kovacic were class. Defence didn't have much to do. They just done their job. Rudiger, Chalobah and Silva. They didn't even lay a glove. I don't think they even laid a glove. I think Mendy's made 0 saves in 2 games against Malmo Norwich. Not one save he had to make. The only one moment that he had where he had to get stuck in was when he dived on the floor once. I think we played the bad ball back and then he tried to run around Mendy and Mendy stuck his leg out. Oh man, that guy. Honestly, if you have never gone to watch Chelsea, go and watch and go and see the size of Mendy. Mendy is massive. He's so tall. And he's just sick, man. Like, honestly, it was such a good day. And Mason Mount got the penalty. He missed it. Everyone started going, oh, and then he scored. We got it taken again. It was just our luck on the day. I think Tim Krul come off the line. Mason Mount got the opportunity again. He places it into the bottom corner, and we walk away with a 7-0. And that's important, guys. Goal difference is important. Not only is the points on the table important, but the goal difference is important, especially in when you're fighting for the league. Liverpool, look what they've done to Man United, 5-0. 5-0 slapping, Listen, there's nearly 40 of you here already, 9 minutes in. Can we smash the like button? Let's do that. Smash the like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel as well. We were on our road to 3K. 3K is close. We are on our way there. If we could get to 2,950 subscribers today, which is 30 new subscribers if we can find them, then let's do that. This is a debate show. So even though we've done a bit of a review, the debate is about Kai Havertz. And the reason I wanted to bring up the Kai Havertz chat is because while I was at Stamford Bridge, I got a lot of mixed views between our own fans. Some fans very willing to wait, really think he's world class, think he's very good. On the other hand, you've got a lot of people who are saying, what does he bring? What is his actual attributes? What is he good at? And for me, it was just bringing it into this stream and sitting with you guys and understanding your thoughts and opinions on Kai Havertz. And we're going to go through some tweets. I'm just going through Twitter. I've written Kai Havertz, and I just wanted to see some of the comments that came up on Twitter, which is what we're going to do now. But just to finish off on the game overall against Norwich, great performance, got the job done. Surprised me with the 7. Cho, Mount, and Havertz were on fire. Kovacic, Jorginho were wicked. Our wing backs, Chilwell and Reece James. This is why I cry about it. These guys are our best wing backs in the system that we play. The wing backs are so important. And in Reece James and in Chilwell, they're quick. They can get back and forwards. They can score. They can cause problems in the box. They can cross. They can defend. And that's how, and that helps us. That really does help in the way that we play. When you have Alonso and Aspie there, it's very slow and lethargic and there's not much movement going forward. And we rely on our wing backs quite a lot. And I watched it. I was at the bridge. I watched it and it was important that we had them wing backs doing this. And they were great. And it was an overall great performance. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and talk about too much, give any ratings, because you can't rate them. You know, they're all 10s for me. I'd say 10s, all right. Maybe 8.5s and above. They're all 8.5s and above. But guys, 12 minutes in, over 40 of you here. Smash the like button. We are going to talk about Kai Havertz. This is the main topic of today. Tomorrow, we will be doing a stream on Chelsea versus Southampton. Which I want you guys to be tuned into tomorrow. Obviously, Tuchel will have his press conference. We'll learn about injuries. We'll do our proposed lineups for that game as well. But we're going to talk Kai Havertz now. So stay tuned. Smash the likes if you can. Please do that. Subscribe if you're new. Get your popcorn ready. And if you want to tune in as well, if you want to get involved, the link will be in the chat as well very soon once I've just gone through these bits and bobs. But let's just quickly see what people are saying out in the chat. Big up to Midget Gem. What's this about? We're winning a fucking league. Let's have it. Listen, in terms of winning the league, do I feel confident? You know, I'm confident enough to know that we can get it done, but it's still very early. December is for me, is a period that's very important in terms of where we go and what the outcome is. You know, because December, you have so many games from November to December. I'd say late November, when we come back from internationals onwards, that's the big period. We can get through them games and with maybe winning 80% of them or 70% of them, draw a couple here and there, maybe lose, because we might probably lose one game, might not. But if we can get through that period still sitting at top and going into January, still be in a good position, maybe 2 points, 3 points ahead or whatever, then I'd start be saying, look, we can do this. We can do this. Good weekend for me, England better. Yeah, I know you like the old cricket. Big up to Almighty Blue as well, who's in the house. He says, props to you, always called it out, Ben and Reece being our best white. I have, I've always said it. I've always been consistent in that. They are our best. Is Pulisic recovered from his injury? I don't know, Andre. I don't really know what to say of Pulisic anymore. He's never, ever available. He is never, ever, ever available. Yeah. Let's talk Kai. Because I want to give my thoughts on Kai, and then we're going to go into some quick tweets as well. In terms of Kai Havertz, I was down the bridge, and while I was down the bridge, I heard a lot of. I just feel like there's a lot of mixed feelings in terms of it, whether it's across social media, whether it's where I was down there on the weekend. People were not sure on Kai Havertz. And I'm not saying not that it's the majority. I've got a feeling that it's more of a split opinion on how they feel about him. First, we're screaming out that he should be a 10 when Lukaku's playing. And then we're moaning, oh, he's not doing good enough. We should play him as a false 9. He's now playing as a false 9. And we're still having people questioning Kai Havertz and his ability to, his ability. We know he's full of ability. We know he has the talent. I think he's one of our most gifted players, Kai Havertz. I think Kai Havertz is a player that I keep saying, depending on how long he stays at Chelsea, I think he could be one of our main, in the terms of players we remember. not say top legend. He may become a legend depending on what he can do. He can become a legend because he's got the ability to. But I think he is that good to be one that sits in our record. But obviously, he does already with the Champions League goal. I get that. But when you look at Kai Havertz's overall performances from when he arrived at Chelsea to where we are now, you think about that period specifically, he's had COVID, he's had injuries, he's started quite slow when he has come back in, which you could use, granted, it could be for other reasons and whatever else. Don't know the implications of COVID, how serious it is. You know, he then, I would say at the latter end of when Tuchel came in, at the latter end of the season, started picking up form. I think of the Real Madrid, I think of the Champions League games overall. The Real Madrid one at home, specifically, because he was unbelievable. For me, he was unbelievable. He was absolutely, like, he was causing so many problems to that team. And then I look at it coming into this season, I think, right, Kai, this is your opportunity now. You know, this is your opportunity to shine. And he hasn't. You know, he hasn't. He started off okay. It was him, Mount, and Lukaku. They had a good game. And we were very excited. I remember all the Chelsea fans saying, this is the free. This is the free. Mount, Havertz, Lukaku. And then we went to Tottenham. Was it Liverpool or Tottenham first? I can't remember. I think we went to Liverpool first and then Tottenham. We went to Liverpool. And he scored that great goal. He then got, I think he got taken off. Did he got taken off after Reece James got sent off? Was he the player that came off for Kane? No, he wasn't. It was Mount that came off for Kane. He then went into that second half. We were down to 10 men. You couldn't really criticise him because he was, in many ways, you could argue that even though we weren't having much of the ball, when we did get the ball, we couldn't do much with it because of being a man down. And then you look at the game against Tottenham, where we were wasteful. I mean, they played well, Tottenham, in the first half. But we had a number of times where we were like 3-on-2s and we made the wrong decisions. And some of it was Kai, some of it was Lukaku. And the chemistry wasn't there. It was like they were not building up to it. And then he dropped him. And then he came back in. I can't remember what game it was where he was poor. Was it the Villa game? I think it might have been the Villa game. Tuchel played him, and he was poor again. And people were then calling for Kai Havertz to be dropped. Obviously, Hakim Ziyech had a poor game. We'd put him down bottom of the pecking order, and then Kai Havertz had been dropped. Obviously, we go into Malmo. Lukaku only get injured. He comes on, has, for me, a very decent game. I thought he linked up very well with Cho, made runs behind. You know, the issues with Kai Havertz is not him being able to perform like that, I think, for people. The issue with Kai Havertz is being consistent with your performances or that level. Because if you're a top player, if you're a player that's going to be touted to be one of the best youngsters in the world, you have to be consistent with your performances. And I think with Kai Havertz, I cut and war him a bit because I actually really like him. I think he's a very talented player for me. But at the same time, do I expect more from him? Has he let me down in some games? Has he gone ghost? Yes, he has. However, the one thing I would say is he has got time by his side. He's still very young. He's still very new to this league, even though he had a little part of the season. But we do have to give him time. Like, I think when you think of Hakim Ziyech and you think of Kai Havertz, I know we're very harsh on Hakim Ziyech, but the reason we're harsh on him is because he's at a time of his life where he should be in his prime. There's no excuses. Right, he could say half a season or a season to get used to the league like most players. But then to just be very poor coming into your second as well and not contributing and not doing anything, like, I think Kai Havertz has been more, when he's played, has been more important than Ziyech. When you think of it, they both arrived at the same time at Chelsea. And he's younger. But we expect more from Kai Havertz because of his price tag, because of how Leverkusen bigged him up, because Leverkusen looked at him being a very big player. That they were talking about him being like Cruyff levels. That's what I was hearing. Like, he was that good. The way he plays the game, the way everything looks so slow and lethargic, but he does it in his own pace and people can't seem to contain it and things like that. Like, he is so good and he's going to be so important. I watched the game. I went to the game against Norwich and there was a lot of, before it, there was a lot of question marks. Now, I know Slens, who's one of my boys, he's very not sure on Havertz. His question with Havertz is, what is his actual ability? What does he possess? What is it that people see in a player like Kai Havertz? Because he thinks he doesn't offer too much. I looked on socials at half time against Norwich, and everyone was saying, we're playing well, this, that, and the other. But Kai Havertz is not doing enough, or Kai Havertz is not doing this, or he needs to be more involved and whatever. And I was there, I could see the game. There was parts in that game, again, and I'm not trying to just stick up for him, where Mason Mount, Jorginho, whoever it was, he would make the run. The ball would either be passed too heavily to him for him to then take the ball on and be direct with it, or it was overplayed. And there was moments when he did get the ball and he tried to do something and he lost it, and fair enough. But would I say he was that bad to be criticised in that game? No, because I thought it was a great performance. Even though some people think Kai Havertz still needs to do more, I get that. But we won 7-0. The fact that we alternate so well when he's a false nine is important, because if you watch him, like watching him on TV and watching him live, that's one thing I've noticed. It's two different things. Like, his movement off the ball is so important to the system. It's one thing I noticed with him, because yes, he's meant to be a nine or a false nine, but he never holds a position as a nine. He's always dragging himself to the right. He's always dragging himself to his left. He'll come deep. Cho will make the run behind the back. Mason Mount will come. He will go deep. Mason Mount will make the run behind the back. He will go two, link 1-2s, make runs off that. You know, he's very, very, very. He offers quite a lot. The question mark was, is the system. Does the system not get the best out of him? I just think we need to be patient. I think we're being too, like, this is going to be an important period. No Lukaku, no Werner. We've got Southampton. We've got Malmo away. We've got Burnley. I think we've got one more team as well. I can't remember. But they're the three that have come to the top of my head. I expect him to play. Thomas Tuchel taking Kai Havertz off against Norwich, like he did with some of the others, is because he's preserving him. It's because he knows he needs him on the pitch. Because let's be serious, who else can play up front? Like, who can play in the position that Kai can, other than maybe Ruben Loftus-Cheek, if we decide to push him further up the pitch? I don't know, is the answer to that, you know? And it's important now that he steps up. He steps up massively. Guys, it's nearly over 50 of you here anyway. Let's get I'm going to open up the lines very soon as well. I want to get your thoughts and opinions. My question to you guys is, how do you feel about Kai Havertz? What are your thoughts on him as well as a player? Do you are you one of the people that criticise him? If you are, come and join me. Give me your thoughts and opinions. If not, put it in the chat. I'll bring them up in the chat as well. I am going to go through the chat to see what you guys are saying as well. But smash the like button, guys. We're on 32 likes. We can get to 40. We can easily get to 40 likes. So please do that. Share it on your socials. Subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. It's massively appreciated for us. But I'm just looking at what you guys are saying in the chat. Big up to C1 London. He says, Jem, the thing is, he's too inconsistent at the start of the season. If you want to challenge, you want to be more consistent for his ability. I believe he will come good, but he's young. So I feel like you're very in between C1. You're not too, you know, he's inconsistent, but at the same time, you know he's young and you know he's got the ability. And I feel like you feel very, not that you don't think it's going to happen, like you said, I think it will come good eventually. But I feel like, again, you feel very reserved on your views on him, and that's probably because of his performances. And I agree. You know, mixing Werner with the runs and Cho with his dribbling and creativity every few games, and we are getting at least 3 trophies at the end of the season. Big up to King on that one. If he scored one yesterday, no one would be slating him. We still won 7-0 with him up top, so his movement and link up is still, and that's it, old Joe. You said it right there, banging on the dot. What I just said earlier. You don't always have to score goals to be effective, guys. I think we need to understand that that he was very effective in what he did yesterday, even though some people thought he wasn't doing enough. I think, and I was there. I was looking at him. I was actually, out of every player, watching him more than most. His runs off, him coming forward deep. Could he have held the ball up better at moments? Of course he could have. Of course he could have. You know, he could have. You know, he was making runs off behind. Could he have held his run? Maybe. Did he make the wrong run when he should have run the other way? Sometimes. But overall, he offers and possesses a lot for this squad. A lot more than many others, I'll tell you that. And he will come good. I've got confidence that Kai Havertz is good enough to be at this football club. He's too talented for me. He is. Kai Havertz isn't playing as a false 9. Tuchel said he's playing as a true 9. True 9? What does that mean? He's an invisible 9, not a false. So JJ's not 100% committed into that as well. Jim, I like Kai as well, but the thing is, when he has to turn up and score in the second half season, only we more than that. You need more than that. So I get that. The lack of consistency in his performances in halves, I understand that. I understand that we want more from him in that area, and I agree. I think he needs to be more, as he grows older, he needs to start off well. He can't be relying on second half of his seasons to be doing well. He's done it at Leverkusen, he's done it at Chelsea, and he probably will come alive eventually. He will. I think he will. But he needs to be doing it earlier. He needs to be doing it early. He needs to show us a level of performances that are consistent throughout the season, not only in the latter end of the season. And it's important. I think we're being a bit reactionary. He scored a brilliant goal against Malmo. Yes, he needs to be more consistent, but the thing is, he has shown glimpses of his quality, and I agree. It's glimpses, but you want it to be more consistent. You know, glimpses is fine, but it needs to be more effective and consistent. I think he will come good as before, but he needs to wake up and grab his start and spot. I agree. He's in a squad that's very challenging. He's in a squad that you have to fight for your position, and he has all the talent in the world to hold his position. He does. He could be the key to many things for Chelsea if we can get the best out of him. And this is what I'm saying to you guys. What do we need to do to get the best out of Kai Havertz? Is it a Kai Havertz thing? Is it something Kai Havertz needs to work on? Is it something that Chelsea need to look at? Are we not getting the best out of him because of the way we're playing him? Are we playing him in the wrong position? So many question marks. The lines are going to be open for you guys to get involved and have your say as well. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on it. Where's Havertz's best position at Chelsea? And if it's a false 9, how does he compete versus Lukaku? He don't. What's the problem? He don't compete with Lukaku. But he can play with Lukaku. I know some people saying that they don't think he can because they sort of make the same runs or whatever, but that's nonsense. Like, it's just a chemistry thing. You've just got to keep. If Kai Havertz, Lukaku, and Mount are your three, you play them, and you just would allow the chemistry to flow. If it doesn't flow after a while and it's not linking up, then it obviously is an issue. Get what I mean? I think something Kai himself needs to work on if he bulks up. Yeah, and again, maybe he can work on that. He's still very young. We can give him the time. But when you ask rivals about players, they always bring up Kai Havertz and say, he's a 10. He's the one. He's very good. Even when he's not playing very good, because they can see it. And that's what I'm saying. We can see it. We expect more from him. But because he's not giving us that, we're then becoming very critical of him and expecting it, which is fair enough. We can expect more from him because he's got the talent to show that. But I agree he needs to be consistent. At the same time, we still need to be patient, is what I'm saying, with Kai Havertz. Ivor says, Chelsea should get these players, Duco, Jeremy, Chouameni, Jules Koundé, Chiesa. You know, you do that, then you might as well flush out some of the players we've got already. Do you know what I mean? Listen, guys, there's nearly 60 of you here, 28 minutes in. Smash the like button. The lines will be open for you guys to get involved in this debate. I want to know your thoughts on Kai Havertz and where we stand. And part of the reason why I brought this stream or show out today is because of what I'm seeing on social media, what I'm hearing when I'm down at the bridge, talking to some people as well. What do we need to do to get the best out of Kai Havertz? Tell me. That's what I want to know. Is it something he needs to improve on? Is it a timing thing? Is it a system thing? Is it finding his best position? I want to know your thoughts and I want to know your opinions. So make sure you stay tuned. Hit the like button. Let's get to that 50 like mark and the lines will be open for you guys to get involved as well. What I meant, Jim, is Tuchel has busted the myth that Havertz is playing as a false 9. He's playing him how he plays Lukaku. Okay, that's fair enough. I get that. And that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense because if he's playing like that, he plays it. He can play a number 9 like Lukaku, but he can play it differently to Lukaku. We know Lukaku is a number 9, a true number 9, holds his position, gets in the box. He scores goals, true goal scorer. Yeah. Havertz doesn't hold his position. He alternates around that position. He can come deep. He goes left. He goes right. He does this. He allows people to get more involved. He allows people to make runs behind him. He drags defenses. He drags players away. Like, he plays it a little bit different is what I'm trying to say. You know, he plays it completely different to other individuals. Kai needs to stop being careless on the ball. Yeah, I agree with that. Sometimes he should release the ball a lot quicker. The guy has special skills. Let him work harder from Kenya Blue forever. Big up to you, my man. Good to see you. And like I said, subscribe, guys. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel because we are on our road to 3K. Giveaway is coming to you as well. That will be in the description below. If you look at the description below of the stream, there's a link to the Instagram page, GNA TV page. If you click on there, go and follow us. You'll be able to get involved in the giveaway once we get 3K, which we should be doing very soon, guys. So please keep subscribing. Blues Chaos TV, big up to you, mate. Thank you for the donation as well. Says big up to Jem and everyone out there. To me, I think Kai needs to adjust to the physicality of the EPL because he can't hold the ball. Because he can't hold on to the ball. No, I get that. And he's allowed time to do that, right? Because he's still very young. He has the frame. He can hold the ball up. But maybe he needs to strengthen. If he strengthens, does he lose his pace a bit? I don't know. But that's something that Kai will have to make a decision on himself to improve himself in this Premier League. To adjust himself to this Premier League. You know? Havertz gave him more fluidity from Lukaku. I hear that. But let's big up to Nippon as well. Hope you're well, mate. I think Havertz is looking for his main position, which is why he's moving around a lot. I think we're just trying to find, and this is why I keep saying, are we trying to find his best position? Is it something that he needs to just work on? You know, like what is it we do to get the best out of Kai Havertz? Is it a system thing? Is it Kai Havertz thing? Is it a timing thing? I'm going to open up the lines for you guys very soon. Let's go through some of these tweets that I found on Twitter. Basically, I keep it short and sweet. I literally just wrote in Havertz and then it comes up with like loads of like tweets. And I do that because I want to kind of get like an understanding of where the Chelsea fan base are when it comes to Kai Havertz. William Hill have brought up this kind of saying the most goals scored under Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea. Kai Havertz sits with 5. Mason Mount sits with 8. Lukaku's on 4. Obviously, he's still new here, granted. Timo Werner 5. So, is that enough? Hell no. That's just not good enough when you look at how long they've been here in terms of season. But since Tuchel's been here from half of the end of the season to now, Mason Mount is our top goal scorer with him. Let's be serious. He got 3 goals on the weekend, so he would have been on the same level as Timo and Kai. But that's an interesting comment because Kai is scoring goals, but just not enough. Newman, big up to Newman. He's saying, and if you don't know Newman, go and follow him because he does a lot of stat talking and he does little like breakdowns of how he can get the best out of teams and etc. Big up to him. He says, "I'd personally take Havertz off at 2 at this point. With Lukaku already out, we can't really risk Havertz now, especially in a game that we've already pretty much won." So from what I get from him on that is that he still thinks that Havertz is important to this team and the fact that we have to take him off in games and preserve him. I agree. These are games where you have to... thank you for the sticker, Blues Cloud TV. I have seen it. Sorry, mate. I'll just cut out now. Thank you, mate. Big up to you as well. Much appreciated. The link's going to be in the chat soon, guys. Over 75 of you here. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new here as well. I'm going to open up the lines soon. Just going through some of the tweets on Kai Havertz himself. This is the comment on Tuchel on Havertz. Tuchel on Havertz. He says he's so talented and so dangerous. He has so much potential that he needs to show it. He's got the minutes he deserved. It's only one thing to make it to the team, and that's performance. He played 70 minutes against Malmo, scored. He was dangerous, and here we go. So I think Thomas Tuchel's in the same understanding as us when it comes to Kai Havertz. I think he looks at this and he thinks he knows, like we know, he's got all the talent in the world. He should be starting most of these games for Chelsea. He's that good. But he needs to start being consistent with his performances. In the Malmo game, he was very good. Was he better in the Malmo game than he was in the Norwich game? 100%. Of course he was. I agree. But that was interesting stuff there. Chelsea's first half player ratings we got here, and this is from Felix. He rated Kai Havertz a 7, which was not bad as well. I'm trying to find these comments where people were talking about his deficiencies, Seen so many people digging out Havertz. We've just won 7-0, absolutely flying on top of the league. Have a day off, please. And I get that comment as well from Mad Montana. Big up to him. You know, the fact that we always find a reason to moan as fans. We do it all the time. We could have won 15-0, and because Kai Havertz didn't score in that game, we'd make a thing of it. Like, we do need to relax a bit. Like, we're sitting top of the league. We're doing well. All right, certain players are not always performing 10 out of 10s in games. But as long as the team's doing good and they're contributing to it, and he did contribute. I was at the game. He played very well. Just didn't get a goal. Didn't get a goal. And I wanted him to score because if he had the goal, no one would be saying anything about his performance. It just gives people a reason to dig at him on that game only. Malmo game was very good for me. For all your Havertz captains, you should focus on decisions and not the outcome. The decision was bad, so was the outcome, is what they had a comment here. There's my comment there. See that? Big up to G&A. Mason Mount has scored. Yeah, we know this. That some people moan about FPL, Kai Havertz being poor in FPL. Chelsea's attackers Premier League / UCL goals / assists per 90 minutes in their Chelsea careers. Kai Havertz 6th. Obviously, Pulisic. Chelsea. Wait, I need to read that again. That made no sense. Chelsea attackers Premier League / UCL goals / assists per 90 minutes in Chelsea careers. Pulisic 0.55. Werner 0.51. Cho 0.46. Lukaku 0. I mean, that's quite. I mean, look at Mount. Look at Pulisic. Every 90 minutes he plays. That surprised me. That surprised me massively. I'm not going to lie. Liam Towney, big up to him. He is saying it's significant that Chelsea's best attacking half of the season comes with Havertz as a false nine and Cho and James in their best positions, or is it just Norwich? So here's what I'm saying about you. Split decisions, guys. Split opinions on individuals again. There you go. You know. They thought he was joking, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you know, to be fair, a lot of what I'm looking at the moment, a lot of people will just say, oh, this is why, because it's top. I was meant to look at latest. That would have helped, wouldn't it? That would have helped. Guys, there's over 90 viewers. Smash the like button if you can. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys to get involved. But the part of the reason why I'm going through my tweets for you at the moment is just to get a feeling on Twitter of the people and their comments on Kai Havertz. I feel so hard Lampard didn't do Havertz this bad, honestly. Havertz owners are getting mudded every passing second. Why? Why are we getting mudded? Respect Havertz, his dribbling is better. I mean, like, what is all this, man? I can't add this to this. I strongly disagreed with the hits that were taken for Havertz. Those who brought him in was pretty clear on it being a punt because there was so much uncertainty on how much he would play and how he would play. Why was it a punt though? I don't get why Kai Havertz would be a punt. I think Kai Havertz was a good decision. Top player. One of the best, and people keep forgetting this. He was one of the best in Europe at the time. This is not a signing that we just took a punt on and just thought, you know what, we're not too sure if he's going to be good or not. You do that with everyone. Bringing Lukaku back was a punt. He scored. I mean, if you look at his stats, he scored goals, but it's a punt, isn't it? It's like it doesn't make any sense. Some of the things that people come out. How's it going, mate? I'm not happy with it. I feel like I'm left behind. I've noted down my mistakes this year. I'll put it right moving forward. Havertz was just unlucky. It was just the right decision, but didn't pay off. So, like, I don't know. Some people are obviously talking between each other, and I'm reading comments. I shouldn't really be reading these, but sorry, we're going to forget Havertz was signing from the Bundesliga. If you're going to judge Sancho, give him a I mean, you got to give Sancho a season as well as much as Havertz. But at the moment, Sancho's looking bad. At least Sancho's fit. He's just sitting on the bench. That's a different story. You know, it's a different story. I took Havertz and still think it was a good plan when I did it. Chelsea won 7-0, and it's unlikely that the striker blank in such a match. My plan with Havertz was also to go further to Son and Lukaku come out. You are punished by blah, 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 on captain. So obviously they're talking about FPL as well. So, you know, a lot of people on, what I'm trying to get is a lot of people on Twitter are still discrediting him, still think he's not good enough, still think, you know, still questioning him. What is it he offers? What does he offer? What are the F are those Chelsea fans on about? This is Chelsea Havertz's second season and he's still not performing better than Sancho. Looks like Rent boys are still hungover over a Champions League win. That's rivals for you. You know, it's yeah, you know, and to be honest, part of, like I said, part of why I was bringing that all up is just to give you an idea that Havertz is not. He's getting criticised quite a lot at the moment, and does he deserve the criticism? Potentially. Do we need to just be, for me, before I open up the lines, do I think we just need to just give him time? Yes, timing's important. Chemistry is important. Time of, you know, minutes to play, like Tuchel just said, I just showed you on the tweet, is important. Of course it's important. But we need to be patient with Kai Havertz. Yeah, we need to be patient. He will be question mark, because at Chelsea you need to perform straight away. I get that. You have to perform. It's important that you perform. I get that. And time is against him in terms of that. But I ain't missed any thingies of it. I'm just trying to look in the chats because I wasn't looking. But yeah, guys, look, there's over 106 of you here right now. I am going to open up the lines for you guys to get involved. Smash the like button. If you're new to GNA TV, please subscribe to the channel as well. We're on the road to 3K. If we can get to 2,950 subscribers a day, I'd massively appreciate that. We're doing a Chelsea-Southampton preview show tomorrow as well, so make sure you stay tuned. I don't want you to miss anything. Go and follow the Discord group as well that we've got, which is in the description below, and the Instagram for GNA TV, which is in the description. Make sure you go and check that out as well. The link is going to be in the chat now for you guys to get involved. I want your thoughts and opinions. I want to know, and before I put the link in the chat, this is what I want from you guys. What are your thoughts on Kai Havertz? How do we make how do we help get the best out of Kai Havertz? How do we do that? Is it a system thing? Is it a Kai Havertz thing? Is it a timing thing? What is it that we need to do to get Kai Havertz to perform at a level, the level that we know he can perform at? Because we can all agree that we can see the talent of Kai Havertz. How do we get him to that level is my question mark to you guys. And like I said, it could just be a timing thing. But at the moment, I feel like a lot of people are ready to scrutinise him, even at the age of 22 years old. The link is in the chat for you guys to get involved now. Get involved. Come and have your say. Subscribe. Smash the like button as we do as well. Who will be the first person to come backstage? Let's see the links here. I don't think Havertz can live off the UCL final winner, so we should criticise him. We paid a lot of money for him, but some of the fans are coming out with is over the top, and I agree, 100%. It's over the top, too critical of him, you know, in many ways, I think. But we move. Nick Blue's with me. How you doing, Nick Blue? You all right?
Hi, Jim. Big up, Jim.
Big up to you, mate. Big up to you. What's your thoughts on this Kai Havertz?
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
Go on.
I think, you have to give him time. He's only 22, just turned 22. Look at, you remember when Edin Havertz came in as a youngster? He was young when he first came. He wasn't hitting it straight away. He was good, but Havertz is good as well. He's a great player, Havertz. We need time. You give him time, we're going to see the new Eden Hazard reborn soon.
You're that confident, yeah? You're that confident?
Yes, I am. Yeah. Oh. I am. I like Havertz, the way he plays. He's very skillful, very technical. You just have to give, because he didn't score, he was man marked the other day with that bloody Hanley. He was man marked all the game through. He didn't give him a breather. I was the only Norwich player who really played good. He's a good player, Hanley.
He was, but at the same time, he is. But at the same time, he didn't do that well against Havertz. I don't think. I think Havertz, gave him a bit of a run for his money in many ways, But what? So it's a timing. It's a timing thing. Yeah?
It's a time. He's young. He's young. He's only 22 now. I think he's young and he will come good. I'm sure he's got all the technical ability. Just has to be a bit stronger. I think he needs a bit of, just to get stronger in the gym. He's a bit flaky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has to get a bit stronger, then he will become good.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I do hear that. We've got C1 here. We've got Grey Wolves in here as well. Big up to you guys as well. Guys, Kai Havertz, what's your thoughts on him? Obviously, it's been a lot of there's been a lot of criticism on him and his performance, especially against Norwich. I was there. I thought he was very important in how we actually won that game. Even though Norwich are not a great team, his movement was very good as well. I mean, C1. What's your thoughts on him, mate?
Havertz.
Yeah.
He just needs to be more consistent because if we want a challenge, like we need him to be there for at least 75% of the season, at least, not for like 35 or 40%. I think with Havertz at times, I think if you watch him, the player that he's very similar to is Muller, Thomas Muller. He's a more technical version of him in terms of the spaces he picks up. So it's just a consistency thing with him. I think the criticism is fair, but let's not overdo it because we did it with Mount and look what happened in it. So that's what I would say with Havertz. And yeah.
I hear that. I do hear that. What you saying, Grey Wolf Stinner? How are you feeling, mate? You right?
I feel like this is a bit too like we got to give him at least the next 2 games, and then if he still like isn't for some reason getting on the score sheet, then we can question it. But like he was very good against Malmo, great finish, came off the bench, looked lively. Against, I think sometimes you just don't get the chance to score. Like sometimes it's down to luck more than anything. I don't think he was bad. I thought he, at least first half, maybe second half he dropped off. For first half, I thought he played really well. So
yeah, maybe start by feeding him some chances, like how Lukaku is struggling because no chances give to him. No one, look, Ray, I was at the game, mate, and we were making passes into him when he was making runs. Sometimes it was a bit overplayed. Sometimes it was, not to his feet or whatever. And sometimes it did get to him and he lost the ball. But I agree with you to make him chances. I agree with that. But I just feel like he's in a great performance like we did against Norwich, winning 7-0. I just feel like we heavily criticised him for no reason. He was, if you watched the game, you would see that, all right, he may have not contributed in terms of goals, but he was still important in the way that we played the game because him, Cho and Mount were alternating so well, and that was causing Norwich an abundance of problems. They didn't know whether to go left, go right, go forward, go back. And it worked, because that's why, if you notice, Cho was making runs behind the defences. There was space there. Mason Mount, Reece James joined in as well when he scored his goal as well. It opened up so much space because you don't have such a focal point in Kai Havertz because of the way he plays the game,
Yeah, can I just pick up Kovacic? He's been mostly the season fantastic. Like, he's been amazing. He's been our best midfielder. He's been absolute class. He had a just super, like he does everything. He's like a complete midfielder.
He was very good in this game, but with Kovacic, you want the consistency, because the one thing that worked very well in that game, especially in that game, was that our midfielders, Jorginho and Kovacic, were progressive. They weren't just doing sideways when we want to pass to each other. They were looking forward and watching the runs that were being made and trying to play them in. And that was what I want. That's what we've wanted for so long. But now they need to be consistent with doing that. That's the question. We have to see. But
Chilwell's the best fullback in the league as well. I'm not this Luke Shaw guy. Tough. If that guy cannot be our England starting left back, it's a joke.
Hassan, what are you saying, man?
Nothing much, yeah, man. How are you, man?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Obviously, we're talking Kai Havertz. The reason I've sort of brought it up is because there's been even when I went to the game and obviously across social media, we won 7-0, but there's still lots of question marks on Kai Havertz and his performances. So what is it? What is it that's such a big question mark? Is it just because he's so talented and we're not seeing it at the moment? Like, what's your thoughts on it?
Like, I personally believe that we all know his talent, but I feel like his talent is somewhat of like he has potential to become generational. Like, we all know that, and like what we've seen at the start of the season under Germany when he was banging in goals left, right, and centre. I think like that got the fans excited for this season. As like, I think they were gonna. I don't know how to explain it, but I think they were all hoping for him to perform what he was doing at Germany at the start of the season, but he hasn't clicked on. And from what I know, based on evidence or based on his stats, he's more of a second half of the season type of player, and that's the problem in it. And based on his price tag as well, I believe part of the reason why people want him to turn up as well is because of his price tag. And I mean, there's quite a few reasons, but I think them are the main ones of why he wants to, or why fans want him to turn up.
I hear that. I mean, Seb is just saying the one thing I want more from Kai is to do more on the ball. He's not the most creative player, but he has the ability. Has he been brought to Chelsea to be the creative spark for you guys, or what do you think Kai Havertz is here for Chelsea to do?
He was brought to be the more like final third player, I would say. Because if you look at his stats, when Jadon Sancho and him win the league, they had like the most GA as young players. So I think he was brought in as more as a final third player, to be honest.
No, I hear that. I hear that as well. And it's I think, look, the one thing we will say is we're going to see a lot more of Kai Havertz coming in to maybe not the Southampton, but we've got Norwich, we've got Burnley, we've got Malmo. Who else have we got? Newcastle. Yeah, so these are 3 games that I expect him to play in, and on that we'll see. But we know that Kai Havertz likes to perform later in seasons, and that's something he will have to sort out himself as a player because that ain't good enough. He needs to improve.
If you want to challenge consistently, you have to do better.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Guys, please smash the like button. It's nearly 100 of you here still. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's try and get to 75 likes as well. I have put the link in the chat for you guys as well to come in and get involved. But we are talking Kai Havertz. We are talking about the critics. I say the minor criticism of him him not performing to the standard that people think he should do. Obviously, the price tag against his name, that obviously doesn't help, does it, guys? The price tag.
Yeah.
Of course. Big price tag.
Prime. I didn't even see Prime there. Prime, what you saying, my man?
Hello.
Prime, I want to talk to you, man. In terms of Kai Havertz, obviously he didn't score against Norwich, but I was at the game, and I basically what I said was that even though he didn't score, I thought his movement off the ball and the way he played was so important to how we won that game in a way because it helped. And the one thing with Kai Havertz is that his natural ability of his movement off the ball to create, to come deep, to allow Mount and Cho to run behind was important, And he didn't get on the score because if he did, he scored 1. They probably wouldn't be talking about him. But what was your thoughts on Kai Havertz? And for you, like, what does Chelsea need to do? Is it just a timing thing with Havertz? Just need to give him time? Does he need to just improve himself in this team, or is it a system thing? Like, what do you think it is with Kai Havertz at the moment?
I think we played on Saturday. I think he played well. He is a false 9, isn't he? So in terms of, again, I know it's only Norwich, so the whole 7-0 thing is a bit excessive.
Yeah.
But he allowed us to, what's the word? Him dropping in deep and allowing us to create that sort of space. Like that is what he does essentially. I think he's been here a season and a bit now. He's been up and down a lot, and there have been more bad performances or poor performances than there have been good, in my personal opinion. I didn't watch him in the Bundesliga, so my idea or my profile of Havertz is what he's done so far at Chelsea.
Yeah, and
if he's supposed to be this amazing talent, I think you've just got to give it time to come to fruition. I was listening to the stream before I came on, and you guys were trying to compare it with Hazard. Difference with Hazard when he came, 1, he hit the ground running, and 2, there was a lot of experience around him. He was playing with Mata, who was world class at the time. I know Torres was finished, but he was still an experienced striker. There was the likes of Lampard in the team and Ramirez, etc., etc. It was an experienced team. This current squad that we have are young players. And the leaders that we have, which is Ziyech, he's not playing well. He's not leading the team, which is he's supposed to be doing. So when Havertz plays bad and then Mount plays bad, and Cho's being inconsistent, and then Pulisic is not fit. All of that is occurring at the same time. If only one of these things was happening. If it was just that Pulisic wasn't fit, Chelsea fans wouldn't be speaking about it really, because everyone else is still playing well. Or if Havertz was inconsistent, no one would be speaking about it because we're all playing well. Or if it was just Mount or whatever, it wouldn't be spoken about as much because everyone else is playing well. So you can sort of mask it. So similar to Liverpool the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
The fact that they were playing well, but Firmino wasn't scoring, no one spoke about it. No Liverpool fans spoke about it, even though rival fans did. But they didn't care. But last season, when they were playing bad and Firmino still wasn't scoring, it became a problem.
Prime.
I think we just need to start. I think, I don't know, just give him time. Because if we end up selling him in a year or two, and then he becomes a world-class player, then Chelsea fans will switch the narrative and say, oh, we should have kept him.
Then he'd be like Salah. Look what we've done with him.
But with the Salah and the De Bruyne thing, they weren't playing well at the time, and they opted to leave. If we end up selling a Havertz or
no, they didn't not to
selling
leave.
a Werner or whatever, because they're not now, we are going to regret it in the future. No, he didn't want to sell them, but like they weren't getting in the team, so like they left, which is fine.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem. But the thing is, I don't have a problem with that. If we think they're not good enough, we're not good enough, fine, sell them. But Chelsea fans, don't change the narrative in the future when they end up becoming a world-class player and say, oh, we should have kept them.
That's what I'm
Why
saying,
did we sell them? Don't do that.
We don't want that happening. Look at that Salah now. Look at him. He's unbelievable.
Do you think? Do you
can't
think
believe he was a Chelsea player? Oh.
Do you think we're still it's still very early for him though, and the excuse for him being young, maybe all right, not be hitting the levels that he had at the Bundesliga, having COVID, being injured, especially in first part of the season. Do you feel that that's an element of an excuse for him, and maybe that we could just give him a little bit more time because of maybe?
Not even that. It's a new league. Like, how many players in Premier League history come and hit the ground running when they enter the Prem? Like Salah doesn't count because Salah came to Chelsea before and he was poor. Like Drogba was poor for a year and a half with us. Remember?
For a year and a half. Yeah, I was watching it. We wanted him gone.
Pogba, Sancho's not hit it. So out of like 100 players, about 2 of them hit the ground running. So it's about 1 or 2%.
And the only signings I remember we've bought who've hit the ground running is Costa.
Hazard.
Well, yeah, Hazard and Costa.
Fabregas as well.
Yeah, but Fabregas was.
He was
proven.
Exactly.
True.
Okay, fine.
Mata was player of the year his first season.
Okay, Mata. That's 3 that we can like. Not many. Just give it time. Just give it time.
Yeah, very rare. I get that, but we've got Dan and Declare there as well. What are you saying, boys? You right?
What's going on, panel? Jim?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Yeah, I'm all right, mate. A little bit ill today.
Danny, can I come on your bus, please?
No, you can't, man.
You
can't. Come on, Nick. Hop on, man.
Yeah.
This is
How about Havertz? I thought the debate would have been Mount and special guest Johnny as well, and just how much minerals we got here.
I'm saving that.
Money made.
Saving that one
later on. Yeah. I was with Johnny on the weekend. He was at the game.
Oh, well, he would have loved it.
Yeah, he was going mad after the game. He was going mad. But declared, Kai Havertz. Yes. What's your thoughts on him, man? Tell me.
I think it's a little crazy because I think this is the first time I've seen us demand so much from a 22-year-old. Some of the names you guys mentioned, Salah, Hazard, I don't know, probably even Loftus-Cheek when he was 22. There's a lot of names there where we didn't ask that much from him, but his price tag did come. To me, he's shown enough to say, hey, there's something there. There's something in a really good quality player. And more brains, not just ability, because there's a lot of players just pure ability, and they never pan out. And it's probably what Nick Blue brought it up too. He's physically probably not there, but once he gets there, I think he's going to turn into a beast. And that 22, you got like 4 years to hit your prime peak. I think he's going to be a really good player. And he hasn't had a proper concurrent games to just keep performing. It's always been interrupted.
Exactly.
And so, we started the season, he could come good towards the end. He could
Do you think?
be that player we want. Yeah.
Do you think these next couple of games where Malmo, Newcastle, Burnley, these games where I think we're going to have to play him because we're a bit limited at the moment. Do you think this will be a good
Yeah, Newcastle
thing, like
away
a test to see
Saturday.
where he is, pretty much?
Yeah, he has to take this opportunity when Lukaku's not in. He has to take the opportunity to really take that chance to really show. I don't think the Norwich game. I really banked him. I thought he was going to get a couple goals. To be honest, there was a few good runs, bad finishes. There was nothing really there, but yeah, I think these are great. You couldn't ask for anything better. These are the great teams to go against to really test yourself, and I think it's going to tell us a lot.
I think we're asking the one question here. My question is, can he play with Lukaku? Because every time we've seen them together, that I think they've been bored together.
I think he can.
That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
No.
With Mount, I think he can.
I think they can play. I think it falls down to chemistry. I think it falls down to actually allowing these players to play with each other more than one game, 2 games, and keep it consistent. Like, we don't do that because we have so much squad depth and we can always rotate and switch around. But that doesn't always mean that's a good thing, right? Because if you can't find the right, your main 3 or main 11, shall we say, in a squad, it can then become a bit of an issue later on in the season. If you're forever still switching around, you could drop points, you could lose games, and that's why I keep saying consistency is important, chemistry is important. But Dan, what you saying, my guy, Kai Havertz? I've seen a lot of people criticize him on social media. I don't know about you, but what's your thoughts on it all?
Oh, the silky German, huh?
You don't like him, does he?
All I said was silky German, and you guys are going off. Relax.
You don't like German people, do you? I know.
Jesus Christ.
Lord have mercy.
I don't like people. What's going on with you guys, man? Now, my opinion about the young players extends for all of them, right? But, meaning that I expect them to be in their prime when they're 25. When they're 25, 26, that's when you hit your prime. That's when you always hit your prime. There's been this shift in like football fans, and maybe because the football fans I've been interacting with has gotten younger, that the expectation is for young players at 21 or 22 to be world class. That's why you have these things pushed like, oh, he's a generational talent, he's this, is that, because you want to classify them before they even get there. So I think Havertz, I've seen enough in terms of his talent that he can add the elements to his game the older he gets with the experience that he has to become a world class player. You see that now? No. Can it go the other way as well? Of course it can. That can happen with any player, right? You can get an injury and and then you can never be the same player again. But the biggest thing is with us Chelsea fans, we're like this with every young player.
Yeah.
We're harsh. It's not just about Kai. Kai isn't special when it comes to this. We will harsh in our expectations because I think Jem said it in the stream. He's a 22-year-old. We're harsh with Hassan Odoi. He's 21. We were harsh with Mount in his first season when he was 19, going on 20.
It's true.
That's how we are, right? So, it's a thing of our fan base is very, very. We kind of create these little pockets.
We're kind of spoiled in a way. Spoiled and high expectations is about
fans. What happens? You end up creating these little pockets of fans, right? Of like people who, and anybody who knows me knows that this is what drove like my consistent conversation about Werner was because of those pockets, and I got drawn into that. Right? Is you draw this little pockets where you what? I remember I remember after Mount's first season, right? It was, he's not good enough. We need to get someone in. Then you hear about Kai. Oh, when Kai comes in, it's going to be completely different. He's world class. He's generational. He's going to do this. He's going to create so much and score goals. Then he comes in and struggles. So obviously, the people who are supporting Mount, you've created this little pocket. Then, right? Now it's Havertz versus Mount. That's the pocket that you've decided to create. So it's always, and then another person creates another pocket with Cho, and then there's another pocket with this player with Pulisic. If you notice, there's just different pockets of fans who are peeling off. Okay, you're judging this player this way, so I have to judge this player this way, right? That's because even on your stream, Jim, after the Malmo game, you had people coming on and saying, "Yo, Mount was terrible because he didn't score." It's
reactionary, isn't it? It's what we call reactionary.
It's terrible. So the same people They're Mount fans who heard that, and now Havertz has a game. We score 7 goals. He doesn't get a goal or an assist. So they're going to it and say he was hurt. He was terrible. That's the way it
They always
goes.
just been
Right?
negative, man. Why
It's
can't people
always
just
it's,
accept?
that's the kind of relationship our fans have kind of built. You know what I mean? Built where it's like if Lukaku played that game and we scored 7 goals and he doesn't score,
No, we'll moan about it.
does Lukaku
Like
have to
women.
go? Is he? We're not even happy that we scored 7 goals. We're more so thinking about the agenda of the player and this and this and
Yeah,
that.
I know. I
But
agree.
going back to the main point about Havertz, he's going to be great. All our young players have the potential to be really, really good world class players, and they've shown they have the ability to raise their game when they're playing world class players too, right? When they're playing against world class players, they can raise their game to that kind of level. It's not
Yeah.
about just them doing it on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have no qualms about it. I just think, our fan base is kind of toxic, and we kind of shift the goalposts to when we want to, in certain things, and it's just
Yeah, you're completely right. You're completely right, Daniel. I completely agree with you. For once, you're talking really
for
good
once. You
sense.
always agree with me, Nick. Stop it.
Huh? No,
You
I said
always
you're
agree with me,
talking
Nick.
what I'm thinking.
I hear you, man. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
very good. Very good.
Ziyech is the one player I do have question marks over. The rest of them, I think, are quite young and need time. And they've shown stuff.
Yeah.
Ziyech just annoys me sometimes. If he doesn't create anything, he's not that great at pressing, and he's not that.
Yeah.
He's not fast. He doesn't do off-ball runs. He's just at times a passenger, like a waste of a player sometimes.
Hey, this is how we shift the topic, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but but I agree. Do you know what Dan said just now is spot on? I always usually think of it like the way he did as well, and I always bring it up usually while I'm on it. But we're too critical of our youngsters, and even when we win 7-0, like I said earlier, if we could have won 15-0, we still can't say to moan about. Like we make these problems, we make these issues that ain't really issues. I think at this moment in time, a problem. Which then allows rivals to use it because we're the ones creating it, and then we moan about it when they use it against us because we're creating these question marks, these things of our own players, especially when we're sitting top of the league and we're scoring as many goals as we did against Norwich. We need to just calm, But I know Blue Ice is always going to smoke up the place, so Blue Ice is here.
Oh my God!
How you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm good, Jam. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I enjoyed the game. I was there, it was a good slap-in. I had some fun. Yeah, it was good. But Kai Havertz, mate, I've never really spoke to you about Kai Havertz. Like, what's your thoughts on him and all these slight little criticisms that some Chelsea fans are giving?
Hey guys, mute yourself if you're not talking.
Yeah, somebody's snoring on the mic, man. I'm not sure who
I
it is.
can't hear it. I don't know why.
Oh, you can't hear? Oh, you're lucky you. I guess with a headphone.
It ain't me. I know, like I'm talking. I mean, I am ill at the same time. But,
no problem. Yeah, ask your question again, Jam. Sorry.
No, so Kai Havertz, what's your overall thoughts on him? Do you feel he is underperforming? Does he deserve to be criticised as much as he has since the Norwich game as well from certain players? Certain fans. Like, what's your thoughts on it overall?
Is he underperforming? Interesting. No, but his personal initiative, his personal initiative can be under question. Now, is he a victim of a shift in process? Maybe, because now the focus is on a talisman, on a henchman as a number 9 in Lukaku. So as a result, roles have changed. And but if I consider the game against Norwich, which is a bad example because I felt that was a high school game, but if I consider that game against Norwich, you can tell that Kai Havertz has gravitational advantage. He pulls people around. That gravitational pull, you can't find it. You can't buy that in the market. And obviously, we have found from last season that he is a more functional false 9 in a trifecta than a supporting striker with Lukaku so far. So he has a high ceiling, man. He has a high ceiling. High IQ in the game. High IQ in the game. But I just find his personal initiative is a little bit suspect because in the EPL, if you don't push, you're gonna get run over. You're gonna get run over, and I'm seeing it once in a while that he gets run over. I'm like, yo, Kai, you're 6'2", bro. You're 6'2", bro. You should have. And when I mean stature, it doesn't have to be a physical stature. You should be able to intimidate people no matter what. When you're on the field, you should command 2 people defending you. There should be 2 people defending you, Kai Havertz. And he has that. So, yes, the future is bright for that young kid. But if he doesn't dust up, man, he's going to be way down the pecking order. I'll guarantee you that.
Can I ask, is it true there's this thing where he starts the season slow?
Yeah, season. Yeah, absolutely. This is so far. That's a very good question. That's a very good question, Ladimus. He did this last season, but I don't want to use it as trend.
He did it at Bayern.
No. I mean, at the Bundesliga.
I know. I saw it last season. And I thought it was.
Can I make a quick point before Couch goes?
Yeah, go on. We're gonna go Couch after.
Just and again, I just kind of want to draw attention to this, right? Because this somewhat happens as well, in terms of whatever expectations you had of players. And I understand that they're developing players. You know, you can criticize a player without going as far as they need to be sold, you know, blah blah blah. You can say, you know, this kid had a bad game, and this is why he needs to get better here and here. It doesn't have to extend to they need to be sold or they're not good enough and everything else. But it also means you don't have to change your expectation of that player, right? Because what players are known for, what Kai was known for, was scoring goals, was creating chances, was scoring goals and everything else. And you know, I understand he's, you know, gravitational pull in his movement, but that's not what he's known for. That's not what is going to get him paid.
Well, in a process that we have today, yeah, but in the process that we have,
Lukaku, hold on, because Lukaku also has that gravitational pull. When he's on the field, about 2-3 players are on him at all times, right? He draws 2-3 players on him. He pulls them on him at all times. But that doesn't matter because you're a center forward.
Can I reference that?
Just let me finish quickly.
Okay, sure. Go ahead, bro.
What you are in there for is to finish the ball, is to score goals. Not saying he had a bad game the last game, because he had a decent game. He was losing the ball more than Lukaku does, but he had a decent game, right? Yeah. So you don't have to score every game, but my expectation for you is to score goals. So that game was good, but that should be his mindset.
Let's get something straight. Let's get something straight. Was Kai Havertz brought in to score goals?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So as score goals as a supplementary goal scorer or as a striker?
As a striker, because you hear as a striker, you heard what Tuchel said. He plays with 3 strikers, right? He says, I play with 3 strikers except, you know, Mount, he's a hybrid, 8, 10, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He said this after the last game, right?
So we brought Kai Havertz in as a striker.
Yeah, Kai Havertz came in
we brought Kai Havertz in to score goals.
No.
That's it.
Score goals is one thing. Mason Mount, we want Mason Mount to score goals, but is Mason Mount a striker?
Yeah, but Mason Mount and Kai Havertz
it's not even comparison.
They're 2 different players.
He was doing that.
That's right. Him as a 10. He came in as a 10, not a striker.
Guys, hold on. Kai Havertz made his name as the youngest Bundesliga player to score as many goals, right? Playing as a false 9. Right.
So we brought him to Chelsea too.
We bought Werner and Havertz.
My thing is, if you brought him in for any other reason than what we saw him do best, that was bad scouting then.
So no, the reason I asked
didn't want him.
The reason I ask is so you bring him and you bring because I thought Timo Werner was supposed to be the best thing after Fernando Torres. That's what I thought Timo Werner came to do. I thought he came in as that 9, and then Kai Havertz came in as sort of a. This is me. I thought he came in as like a remake of Eden Hazard, that creative player. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong, Blue Eyes. Yes, exactly. But also to score goals.
I think Lampard
wanted him as a winger.
He will
Like,
be the new Hazard eventually. Don't worry.
Amen,
One
amen,
second.
amen, Nick Blue.
Here's,
Amen.
here's the thing.
One
Both
second.
were
Guys,
bought.
1 second.
Both were bought as second strikers because for some reason we were trying to imitate what Liverpool did or does with inside forwards, and we thought we could play both of them as that, right? So that's the main point. Regardless of where they end up playing, is they were bought in terms of scoring goals.
Yeah, and I get that. I mean, JJ Bridge with the donations is big up, top of the. He's put a diamond, so I'm assuming that's Gem. Big up to Gem, top of the league. Man U 5-0. Let's laugh at them. We can give Kai time once we are still winning. I think they will come good, and that's the big
Only
key
at the
thing.
wheel.
We're winning. We are winning. We're sitting top of the league. All right, certain players might still not be hitting that level, but at the same time, Kai Havertz has the time now or the moments to show us what he's about, right? Because he's going to be playing Newcastle, he's going to be playing Malmo away, he's going to be playing Burnley, I would think anyway.
Mhm.
But we've got Couch here. What are you saying, Couch, bro?
7-0, man. I can't wipe that smile off my face. Like I'm surprised. Like so much of what we hear.
And I was there.
Big up, man. Big up. I mean, I wish I was there with you, man. To be
Yeah,
honest,
it's
because
good.
to see something like that must have been amazing.
Special.
It was special, and I think that one of the main things that's kind of come out of this weekend that's kind of surprised me is the fact that regardless of what happens on the pitch, Chelsea fans could never agree. They just can't be satisfied, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. But it does get nerve-wracking at sometimes. For me, I look at Kai Havertz, and I think that he just needs to get stronger. He just needs to get stronger. Like if he's gonna play like that slow sort of, methodical game where, he's not matching the intensity of the match, which is what I see almost every time he plays. He just does not come and match the intensity of the match. Then he's got to get stronger because the time that he's like delaying on the ball, dilly-dallying on the ball, he has to be able to shield defenders off of him so he can have more time to think about what he wants to do next. And right now, as soon as a challenge goes into him, he goes over and loses the ball, or the ball's not sticking to him because he's being hurried all the time. So all of this stuff, this means for me, he has to get stronger. And if I was thinking of just like how he thinks the game, I think he's got to think the game a lot faster. I'm not kidding. Like I think sometimes when he's on the ball and he doesn't realize that he doesn't have a lot of time on it, gets dispossessed. And in the Premier League, it's imperative that you move the ball quickly and you think the game a lot faster. I think when you look at the German league, and it's funny because like a lot of players have come over from the Bundesliga recently who have lit it up over there and then come here to the Prem and they're just struggling. Like I can name the likes of Werner in our team. I can say Sancho. I can say who else? I guess those are the three that come to mind right now. But I'm sure there's more. And well, Leon Bailey, but he's not really playing that regular, so hard to say with him. But I just think that we have to give him either time. I don't know what his preferred role is because we can say that it's striker. I don't know if he's a striker because he doesn't really strike me as a finisher of the top order. He seems like he's kind of like an in-between, a hybrid. I would like to see him probably play in behind Lukaku. I think that would probably be the best position for him. But having said that, he has to work so hard off the ball, and I don't even think that he does that well. So I don't know.
Do you think what some of the things that you said he needs, right? And I agree, he 100% needs those things as well. Because if you're not strong on the ball, like you have to move it quickly, or you're gonna get fouled every time, or just lose it. But do you think his awareness or decision making in terms of knowing what to do a lot faster comes with age, like just naturally? Like the older you are,
there is an adjustment there. There is an adjustment there.
You know what I mean?
But
like some of it, not all of it. He has to do personal work on that as well. But just naturally, you're able to see things a little faster the older you are.
To an extent, I would say this though, and like there are people that think the game really quickly, just naturally. They have an ability to see the game and think it really quickly. For instance, I mean, obviously divides opinion, but Jorginho thinks the game very quickly.
Yeah.
He understands the first move, second move, and third move before the ball even comes
we got
out.
Jorginho. We got that. We received the experienced version of him. You know what I mean? Like we got a Jorginho at 25, going on 26.
But you think that You think that is only down to age and experience?
No, no.
Because there's guys that are like 19 right now that think the game really quickly.
Yeah, and Jorginho didn't come good
Yeah, but-
in his first 2 years.
You're right. They're but those are like extremely rare, right? This is why I said early on, I'm okay with like I think all the young players, I give them till they're 20, 25, because that's when you're supposed to. I mean, obviously you have to show me things till that time, but I am giving you time, a little bit of time, right? There are rare special players at 20, 21 who have that, who can see the game that quickly.
I'll ask
Right.
you this then. I'll ask you this. What is it about Kai's game that you're most appreciative of? And like just before we get into that, I wanted to say this, and like you guys correct me if I'm wrong. You don't buy a 71 million pound player and tell me that he's only good half the season. Like that's not acceptable. Like he can't. Oh, he turns it on in January. That's not acceptable for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Hey,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
if I sign a guy for £100 million and he doesn't do anything all season and scores one Champions League final winning goal, I'm good.
I'm not.
Yeah, you can say that. You're good last year, but what about this year? You're good last year, but what about this year?
Yeah, well, I know.
Like, you can't live off of that, man.
I get it, but all I'm saying is I'm good. That currency he's going to carry for the next 3 seasons.
Nah.
If Fernando carried that currency,
that currency expires.
Fernando Torres never had that currency with me. That's funny because I wouldn't even score a clinching goal. He relieved the pressure. That's all he did, and then he won a corner. Like what's going on here?
And then he scored a £50 million goal.
I think he offers a lot more than what our eye actually sees. And I revert back to when I say watching him live and watching him on the TV, 2 different things.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
And they massively are when it comes to a player like Kai Havertz. Now, when you think about some of his best performances for Chelsea, it was I think of the Real Madrid game at home. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, left you at home as well.
He was just impeccable. His movement off the ball, taking on players. He was running around Sergio Ramos like it was nothing, like breezing past him. It looked like he wasn't even running, and he was gone. Do you know what I mean? And
playing the game at his own
he really scored, didn't he? As well, he done that nice little chip over the top, and it hit the bar, and Werner headed it in, and whatever. And he has that ability to be
what is
that
the ability,
kind of player.
Like, what is it that you're seeing though? Like, I understand he had a great game against.
He plays the game in an.
He plays at his own pace.
Exactly. He plays it in a way that I haven't seen. I don't think many players in the world of football now play.
Very similar to Berber.
Here's the only problem.
What makes that a skill set?
He plays it.
Let him go.
He plays it in a way where it looks like he kind of slows the game down to his pace, but he's not. And he done it in certain games last season where it was so effective that people didn't know how to deal with it. And he has so much talent with the ball and without as well in terms of his movement off the ball. I watched him against Norwich. I watched him against Norwich, right? And I wouldn't have seen this if I was watching it from a TV screen. If I was watching it from a TV screen, I wouldn't have seen it as much, yeah. But when I was watching him at the Bridge, his movement off the ball that created the pockets for Callum Hudson-Odoi, Reece James, Mount to run in. The reason that we was partly playing so well is because he was dragging them defenders left, right, and centre. They didn't know whether to go with him, whether to hold their position, whether to go left, whether to go right.
I would say this. I did see a couple of instances of that, but none of them led to goals, right? None of those led to goals.
No, but they did.
It led to 7 goals. It led to 7 goals.
None of them led to goals. None of those movements led to goals.
It's not always about the movement that he makes before the goal is scored.
Exactly.
It's sometimes the 30 seconds before that of the ball, how we play.
Okay, so the first goal, the goal that Callum scored, where Jorginho, when Kovacic played him in,
played the ball in. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think
he came deep. He came deep.
But the defenders didn't go with him.
But he still came deep. He came deep. That's why the defense was open. That's why Callum had that running lane.
It wasn't though. If you look at the goal, what happened was Callum came deep and then went behind, and the space between the defenders.
He dragged the defender.
That was all about Callum, man.
It was all about. I don't want us to do what we do I don't want us to do
one
what
second.
we do with Werner with Havertz as well. You see, he's like
No,
basing his
we're
game
not.
now
I'm
on
not. I'm not
For me,
movement and
Havertz
production,
says
It's not.
and production is based on everybody else.
No, it's not. It's not just
I
about his
agree
movement.
that his movement is fantastic. It's great, but at the highest level, that's not enough. It's never
No,
been
but
enough,
that's not my
actually.
point. That's not my point.
No. Finish
That's
your
not what
point,
he's
Jose.
saying,
I
though.
You were at the
Nobody-
game. I want to
Yeah,
hear what you
yeah,
have to say about that.
I haven't finished with that. My issue, my thing is that, like Timo Werner, when he is on the pitch, they are a lot more effective than a Ziyech, for example, because even though they might not be playing to the best of their ability, and I agree we should be seeing more from them, the way that we play in this system works because we have players like Havertz and Werner that actually allow, because they move so much and they play the game so differently in their own ways, actually helps the system, is what I'm trying to get at. So I just think, yes, we should see more from Kai Havertz, 100%. Like I expect him to be doing more with the ball, be more creative, score more goals. But at the same time, at the age of 22, I feel like to a degree, we still need to be patient with him. It can't be something that
Absolutely.
happens now. That's all.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I agree. With
You can't trade that IQ for anything.
But I agree
man.
with Couch in terms
I
of
agree.
money spent. You spend 75 million on a player, you really haven't got that
73.
much time to
I
just.
just feel like he's been given.
adapt, you know,
I just feel like
Well-
he's been given
Top block.
such an easy pass. Like really.
Easy
Nah,
pass.
we go-
He scored a
Easy
Champions League
what?
winning goal. What easy
Yeah,
pass?
that's one goal. Okay, that's
Yeah,
What
yeah,
easy
yeah.
pass?
That's why you have a Champions League, man.
But
Star,
Blue
that's
Eyes,
one
listen
goal.
to
What have
the
you done
no,
for
hold
me
on,
lately?
Blue Eyes,
Now we're
listen
into
to
the
the
Wait,
way
hold
you
on,
are.
hold
Sir,
on, hold on.
celebrate your
What easy
Champions
pass?
League, man.
I'm not still.
What
I'm not
easy
still.
pass?
I'm
Don't
not still
celebrate
celebrating
now.
Champions League, man. This
Come on,
is a new
celebrate
season.
with us now.
I'm not celebrating Champions League anymore. That's in the
Yeah,
past.
yeah, celebrate with us now.
Not me.
No,
Not
hold
me,
on, Blue
sorry.
Eyes. Listen to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Hold on,
Yeah,
listen to the
yeah.
way, and you have to stand up to this. Listen to the way you criticized Mason Mount after that last game against Malmo, regardless of
Opposition.
Champions League opposition or Champions League
Yes.
assist or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Your criticism was still stark and harsh, and you were clear about what he needs to get better at. That's what Couch
Exactly.
is doing right now, and you're going against.
No, Couch. No, Couch is saying that he doesn't see any skill set in Kai. Like, what does
No,
he
I'm
really
asking
do?
you what you see. I'm asking you what you see.
That's exactly. I just told you his gravitational pull is second to
No, you
none.
just told me you scored a Champions League winner.
Yeah, but his gravitation. You don't.
But
It looks like. It looks
Blue
like.
Eyes, you can't mention a Champions League goal, and you're talking about his movement. That's goal scoring. That's what.
Hey, Jem. When you first asked me this question, I told you that this kid's learning curve, Kai Havertz's learning curve, is still very high. The ceiling is high. This kid is still young as they come. He's green behind the ears. So I'm not here to come and pitch him as the next Cruyff, if you want. But I'm talking about the equity he has built in his game in the past year with Chelsea. And so far, so good.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
You don't have to buy it.
But you don't apply
that. So Götze scored a World Cup winning goal.
Leave the goal alone, bro. Look at the body of his game. Do you know the game?
Götze scored a World Cup winning goal. Where is he now? Okay.
No, but he still had very good performances leading up to that game.
Look at Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz had loads of good performances.
Couch, you need to understand Kai Havertz's footballing game. It's not about.
Hey,
no,
let me
obviously
get
you don't
one.
know. So
tell me.
Go to Google. You'll see it.
Listen, hold on, guys. Here's the main
Go to
problem,
YouTube.
right?
It's there on YouTube.
Yeah.
Kai Havertz best
you always
position is a false nine, and the problem is we have a center forward currently.
We just got a center forward.
What do we exactly? So what do we do now if his best position is center forward or false nine or whatever it is?
Havertz has to learn. Yeah, this is where I agree. Havertz has to learn how to play with Lukaku. That's what I said.
Exactly. They need to just play with each other, man.
So look at what was asked. Just look at the previous game. Let's analyze the last game. The last game in Malmo. What he was asking those wide players to do, right, was basically to play as wingers exclusively.
Yeah.
Almost exclusively, right? They were playing as wingers. When you look at the heat map of both players of Hudson-Odoi, it was exclusively off the left, right? With sometimes he switched with Mount. Same with Mount, off the right.
Yeah.
Can Havertz play that role?
Which role?
Neutral.
Which role?
The role I just mentioned. Off the right exclusively or off the left?
He can play either
where
or.
He's not.
He can
where
play
he's not.
either
Where
or.
He's better down the middle. He's better down the
When
middle.
he's not moving. Where he's not moving. deep or dragging. He's playing like a winger essentially.
Oh no! You can't play. You can't play.
That's where you get the less from the least from him. You're right.
But that's
You
what
can't
but
play.
in the system in the current here's the problem. In the current system that we play, that's
Yeah.
what those players have to do.
Jem, like I said to you, Jem, I said to you that Kai Havertz might be a victim of a process change.
Yeah.
And that's what I said to Jem. I said this to Jem, Dan. So you're repeating what I said is exactly it. Are we going to look that? That's why.
I've got feedback.
Yeah, someone has got.
Someone has a crazy echo.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause this global CFC always comes out once every 5 streams and trying to question me. Jem, giving excuses upon excuses of Kaya, but slander Odoi left, right, and centre. I don't get where you think I slander Odoi, mate. I don't. Have I slandered Odoi today, guys? Anyone? Have I said anything about
No.
No, you just said what any sensible person would say, saying
I don't know.
Odoi has to know
Anyway,
something.
I have no
Because
issue
he
with
has.
coming up with Odoi. I have no issue with coming up with Odoi.
No,
I'm not
you've
sticking
not.
up for Kai Havertz. I'm just saying there is
No.
more to what Havertz can offer.
Jem,
to this
you're
squad.
not Jester, Jem. Only Jester has issues.
Yeah.
Hey,
Let
can
me-
I add with?
Let me make a point
Oh,
here.
sorry,
right?
BJ.
Uh,
I'll be waiting patiently. Hey, we're on the topic of what everyone was saying. We bought Kai Havertz, right? And for his soccer brain, right? Or football brain. Worst analogy over here. For the football brain, right? When he's at Leverkusen, he played everywhere. He played. False nine wasn't just his position. He played 8. He played as wing. He played everywhere. And I still, wherever you put him, he can play. He's probably the smartest, right? 22 years old in terms of IQ, and that's why we bought him, because of his potential. Because that is more rare in youth players today. It's all about ability, and then they develop later on. That's why we bought him. So wherever we put him, right, he can adapt.
That's
And
not true though.
That for
It
me
is.
is more Mount than Havertz. I think Mount's more
That's
like
not
that
true.
utility
Mount-
player.
You saw Lampard try to make him into an 8, and he wasn't having it.
Bro, I honestly think Lampard didn't even have a say. We got this guy because he's going to be beyond Lampard, right?
Yeah, he wasn't.
That's
To be
the-
honest, it was. Lampard
That's
didn't
how I
want him.
feel.
No, I'm talking
Like,
about
it wasn't the Lampard guy. It
position
wasn't the
that he was
Lampard guy.
playing in. The position
Yeah,
he was playing in. He wasn't
I
good
still
at
think.
it.
Look, I think Kai can play midfield, 8 roles, inside forwards, right, and false 9, right. I feel like he can do it. He can do it. He adjusts that well. When you said, "Can he do it?" and I think over time he can do it. If he gets a role that Tuchel wants him to do, right, he's gonna do it. And I still think that our best front three is Kai Havertz, Lukaku, and Mount. And then we say
Yeah.
he has to adjust. Bro, so I still feel Lukaku looks the most out of place out of any player, and this is going to take time.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, I heard that.
but you guys preached on his soccer brain, right?
Yeah,
He's the smartest 22-year-old I've seen
Yeah.
recently, right? And he's gonna adapt to any role that's given to him in due course. So he's gonna come good. I think it's harsh criticism that we give. You guys mentioned that we give all these players Odoi, even Loftus-Cheek, we gave harsh, and now he's coming good out of nowhere.
But I was talking about right now. I think right now the only position he plays well is false 9 for us. I don't think he's ever played that great anywhere else for us. I know at Leverkusen he did it, but you know that's a weaker league. In the Premier League, you don't get as much time, which is why I think he's a bit better up front for us.
I agree. Let's let Vijay have a go. Go on, Vijay. Go on, mate.
Yeah, sorry, Vijay.
Yeah. So what I wanted to let you guys know was I'm not here to support Kai Havertz or probably oppose him playing in the 11, right? All that I wanted to let you guys know is some of the stats that I went across when it was when I noticed it was going to be a Kai Havertz debate. And one thing that I observed and kind of stood out was the amount of minutes that he's been given chance today. Like Premier League, he's played close to 390 minutes. He's been playing for 8 games. Started 5 games, started as a substitute for 3 games, and he's not even scored 1 goal in the Premier League. Let's not forget that. And in the Super Cup, he scored 1 goal. In Champions League, he's played 3 matches and scored 1 goal. Right now, with these particular statistics, what
He
he
scored
wanted
in
to
the Premier League, bro.
I don't think so.
Oh, Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool.
He scored in
Liverpool scored a header, yeah.
Liverpool,
Yeah.
bro.
Okay.
BJ, you gonna do research, buddy?
DJ, you
Yeah,
get your
missed that
BJ,
point on the
yeah,
research.
you've been slacking, buddy.
Oh, VJ,
Been
man.
slacking. You never forget. You remember
Which
that was an
research do
important goal.
you? What kind of
I'd
research
like
is
to-
that?
Important
bro?
goal, mate.
I'd like to attribute that to the research that was done by Transfer Market, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, just one more point that I wanted to let you guys know is that we often forget when we compare Havertz with Mount or Hudson-Odoi, right? These guys are homegrown kids in the Premier League from the academy. They've been playing in this single league, right? They've probably adapted to the league better than Havertz, who's come from a foreign league. Conditions are new. He was impacted by COVID as well. This season is when he started to play before the Chelsea fans or the Premier League fans, right? We probably have to consider all this into the equation before we come into a judgment for Kai Havertz, or maybe it is too quick of a judgment given his age. And I'd leave it at that. It is for you guys to debate, but then I just wanted to give you some statistics or points that you would use for discussion. Go on, guys.
Well, at least he's available. Christian Pulisic's never available, isn't it? But anyway, we'll get that's another story. for another day,
Mr.
but-
Glass, have you?
Don't talk to me about it, man.
Listen, Christian Pulisic, it would be
So
perfect
upset.
right now. He would be perfect, but we won't talk about Pulisic because there's not much to talk about at the moment. He's just still injured. But look, the only reason I've done this stream was just it wasn't to criticize him or think it was just because I've seen a lot of talk about him, especially now that Werner and Lukaku are out, and I think because there's more responsibility on him now, because now we're kind of more limited in that position, very limited, because I don't think anyone else can play as a 9 in our team other than Kai Havertz, maybe Ruben, but who else can play in that role? So this is why I think
we did see Mason Mount play as a false 9 last year.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
It wasn't great.
We
wasn't
don't.
great. It wasn't great. I'd be the first to. But that wasn't that the Tottenham game though?
Yeah.
Tottenham, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tottenham game. Yeah. So
We smashed them, right? But anyways, I agree. That wasn't great, but obviously his movement and whatnot, the things that we're talking about that were, so important in Havertz's game is what Mason Mount gave us as well, right? Just the unpredictability, the runs and whatnot, all of that, right? I agree with you.
But wouldn't you agree that even if you wanted to play Mount as the center striker or the 9 or 10 that you're talking about, he would be more required in the other position that he's contributing right now?
yeah, I don't want to see
Absolutely.
Mason Mount there.
Absolutely.
No way do I want to see Mason Mount play.
100%.
I don't. No, thank you.
That doesn't work for me. 100%.
Mount's better when he's on the ball more. Well, you don't want Mount not to be on the ball. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's
In
what he's
terms of-
saying. Isn't he saying that he'd rather have him in the position that he's currently in rather than a false 9 or 9?
The thing is, Kai Havertz has the physicality to play there. I think, all right, he's not the most strongest. Yeah, we can work on his strength. Or if not, like Dan says, you adapt with it. You move the ball a bit quicker. When the ball comes to, if you know you can't hold the ball up, you lay it off quicker and make your runs because he has got pace.
He's
good
got
with
the
ball.
technical ability.
Yeah, he's got the
and
technical
pace.
ability.
Yeah.
And he's got pace as well.
So
That
I
movement.
think he just needs to play to his strengths more rather than trying
Are
to
you-
be like
what is that?
Lukaku
Are you
on the
guys
ball.
are you guys talking about? You guys know playing as a 9 and playing as a false 9? It's two different things.
He's not a false
Yeah.
9. He's not a false 9. Tuchel himself said he's playing as a 9. He's not playing as false 9.
I know, but
but
people are
Norwich
mentioning
plays different.
no. My point is, people are mentioning 9 and then people are mentioning false 9. They're two different. two different things. So-
please, Prime, enlighten me. What's the difference, please? Enlighten me. What's the difference between 9 and false 9?
A false 9 is not a striker.
1908.
Go on.
1908.
Did I ask Blue Eyes? I ask Prime, please.
A false 9 is not a striker, unless I'm wrong.
It's a role. It's not a striker.
Oh, Firmino is
Yeah,
a
I know,
false 9
but-
for Liverpool. That's a
Yeah,
good
and he's not
example,
a striker.
yeah.
Yeah, I know, but that my point is, unless I'm wrong and I was hearing wrong, you guys were kept mentioning the two different things as if they were the same.
No, but
so unless I'm
So-
misinterpreting, then that's fine.
So Prime, the
That's
quick
my
way
point. You
to
don't know what false 9 is. False 9
Look-
is the combination between 3 of them. Whoever
Yeah,
stays
yeah.
up front,
Yeah.
that's. But that doesn't mean that he's not. He's like that means that Mason Mount is false 9. That means then Timo Werner is false 9. Doesn't matter who's there.
Exactly.
Somebody's gonna be there. That's the false 9. That doesn't mean that he's not 9. That just means the role switches during the game. Otherwise, he's still the number 9. Do you
Yeah.
see my
It's a
point?
role, though.
It's what Tuchel said. Yeah, Tuchel said he's playing the Lukaku, but he said it himself.
Yeah, but
so-
So
I'm gonna
Lukaku's not
think-
playing. See, last season, and this is what we've been questioning, because last season we had an interchangeable front three, right? Which is why it comes as a false nine. If you watch Man City, they do the same, right? But now we got Lukaku. He's not a really interchangeable. There's been times where he gets out on the wing, right? It hasn't worked. We don't want him out the wing. So now we're going to change how we play from last season, from an interchangeable front three to now only, it looks like only a two, but only one where Mount drops back deep, and whoever's playing with Lukaku, which has been Werner or whoever, plays as a second striker. So the roles have been almost set this season. And now, which one would you prefer? Because we look better nearly last season.
I think our best
movement.
front three is Lukaku, Werner, Mount. Like right now.
I don't.
You want me to tell you what our best front three
I
is?
said
Havertz
Kai
is
because if you watch when Kai's even when he didn't play the world, the movement's been great in the front three.
Here's I'll put it and I'll leave. People keep forgetting one major thing. We have to change everybody up front for Lukaku playing. Lukaku does not have to change the way he played. Do you see the problem with that scenario?
1908, man. You're preaching to the choir, my brother. You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, because
That's
you now
the
got
point.
yourself. You know why you're saying that, Redneck? Because now we've got ourselves a striker.
That's what I'm saying.
Lukaku
That's
is
exactly
our
what
best
I'm
player.
saying.
We have to
Like
play to his strengths.
there's a lot of players have to adjust to Lukaku. Not
Exactly.
Lukaku has to adjust to a lot of players.
Exactly,
And
my
it's
brother.
and it's not gonna be happening in 1, 2, or 3 games. What frustrates me about Lukaku, we have players on there that not. First of all, they are 22. Their brain is not fully developed. But Lukaku used to play in the Premier League for a long time. He knows how Premier League is playing. That's what
but this is a
frustrates me.
completely different setup, though, right? Like you still have to get adjusted to the players you're playing with, right?
The what?
Yeah, but Crouch's setup similar to
adjusted to
Inter.
the players you're playing with, right? It's not
Exactly.
just because
You
he's
have
in the
to
Premier League.
adjust. Exactly. And people saying like how he plays in Inter. I don't want to hear about it. He plays counter-attacking style in Inter.
Exactly.
We don't play that.
Lukaku does it for Belgium, though.
Exactly.
I know he
We
can
need to
do
get Lukaku to the position how he plays for Belgium. That means front three players do not have adjust. Only center midfield needs to be adjusted to it. We need to find a player that does what De Bruyne does. He brings DM into the number 8. We need that transition to be adjusted. The wings will follow after it. That's the biggest adjustment that we need to make with Lukaku on the pitch. But until then, we're gonna be struggling. Is it Kai Havertz role? Kai Havertz is number 9 for me personally. He is number 9. There's no people need to forget about one little thing. There's no such a thing as a number 9 position. You not grow up as a kid and say, yeah, what position you play? I'm a false 9. No, you're not. There's no such a thing in the world as a false 9 player. It's a system developed by a team that does not have a striker, by short. That's why it's called false 9, because technically 3 players play one position, by just interchange. And when Pulisic will come, that will be a different. Lukaku will benefit from it, and I think the players in the midfield. Peace. I gotta go.
Sorry, Redneck, and I agree with you. You're saying a lot of things that make sense to me. But when you say that the false 9 system does not exist, it does exist. It's a tactic, right?
It's a tactic. It's not a position on the field. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Which is a role.
It's a role, but it's not a position on the field.
Fair to say that.
Like you grew up.
Yeah,
I'm
9,
false
11,
9
7,
player.
6, 5. Yeah, you're right. That's fair to
That's
say.
what. Yeah, you're 10 or you're 11, whatever. You like. I'm a center forward.
Right.
I'm a false.
Opposite. Yeah, there is no 9 on the field. It's basically what it's saying. So no one
can't have a striker. You can't have a striker and a false 9 at the same time. That makes no sense.
That's exactly the point.
No, it's a system that's set up without a striker.
Yes, that's what it is. False 9.
Yeah.
9 is a striker. You basically you have You don't have a designated number 9. That's what it means.
So why are we?
Redneck, a question to you here, right? I just wanted to.
You did more research.
Yeah, facts, I think.
By the way, Google is not a research.
No, eh?
YouTube
is a research.
Now a number actually now points out a position on the pitch, which is very weird. I find that weird.
The what?
A number, like a number. When people talk about
yeah. Like
if you say a number, it actually points out the position more so on a pitch. Like if that makes sense. Like
it's make people easily to visualize.
Yeah, exactly. It's just weird, like how numbers are now taking over rather than just saying.
It's because it's been
numbers
generational.
Are coming back. Numbers are coming back.
It's because it's a generational thing. Now, what did you hear about false 9 before Pep introduced with Messi and stuff when they were playing without the striker?
Forward and defense and right back and left left midfield and right midfield.
Hey, Jem,
it's come at the wrong time because these numbers were all characteristics of a role and a type of player.
Yeah,
but now the game has evolved so much that positions aren't exactly those positions. They're different roles. They move around. So it's all characteristics now. It's the worst time to actually use those numbers.
Well, Americans do that in football, didn't they? Like, you're a number, whatever, and that's.
I just want to answer quick.
Redneck, don't go anywhere. 1908, don't go anywhere. I want to ask you a quick question. 1908. Before you go, bro, I know you were talking about false 9. So why are we giving Kai Havertz a lot of grief?
I don't know. That's y'all's problem. I don't give him a grief.
No, but based on your
you don't know the game and you don't know the systems.
Kai Havertz is not a false 9.
Based on your definition of what a false 9 system is, you said it's a composition of midfield. There's no striker in that composition, correct?
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
But midfield doesn't have nothing to do with it. It's a front offensive 3.
Thank you. So why are we criticizing Kai Havertz for not scoring goals? Hold on, Redneck. You just came in. Let me give you the backstory. Before you came in, there were some goons in here that were criticizing Kai Havertz for not producing goals. Then you now come in and you tell us that a false 9 composition is a composition of midfielders without a real striker, right?
Right.
Okay, so what is the end product of a false 9? Can somebody please explain to us what?
It's a composition of inside forwards. They still got to score some goals.
Let me land. I need to ask my question.
I agree and disagree with what you're saying.
I need to ask my question before you land. So my question is...
but hold on. Redneck didn't even say that, and now the question's to us, to everyone else that said they're criticizing for goals.
No. All I'm saying is, what is the benefit of a false 9 system? Can somebody please explain?
The interchangeable front 3.
There is no benefit. There is no benefit. Hold on a second. There is no benefit.
Not be able to mark.
If you ask a question, I gotta go. If you ask a question, let me answer it. Otherwise,
please answer it, please.
It's not a benefit having false 9. It's actually English is not my first language, so I can't explain.
Welcome.
Are you trying to say it's a detriment?
It's how you say it.
It's a give and take. Because you're
losing a situation where you're forced to play. It's a situation that you're forced to play. It's not your initial play. It's a situation that you're forced to be in. That's what false 9 is. Like, for example, if Lukaku wasn't hurt, do you think Lukaku will play the game?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we don't score 7 goals.
That's what I'm saying. So we went to false 9 due to Lukaku's injury.
How did we know that? We scored 2 while he was on in Malmo.
Sorry? Yeah, like if Lukaku played against Norwich, that game would have finished maybe 3-0, 4-0 max.
That's another thing. Actually, Norwich game, Kai did not play false 9. He was actually number 9.
Yes, thank you.
I would agree with that.
Tuchel himself has said he doesn't play him as a false 9.
The only reason was because Hudson-Odoi played, and he came.
Hey guys,
he came to change.
The main reason why Kai Havertz played as a 9 that is the success of a false 9.
Jim, always a pleasure, my man. I'll see you guys.
Brian, take care.
If you don't contribute to the chat, get off of it. Let other people get online. See ya.
See you later, mate.
No,
are we saying that if Lukaku was playing in that game, he wouldn't have scored as many goals? Is that what we're saying?
I disagree.
I think he would have had a field day, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See, I was going to explain that the given what Redneck was maybe he was trying to say. I'll elaborate a bit more. Right? It's a give and take, right? When you have an interchangeable front three, you don't know who to track, right? And chances come aplenty. That goes by statistics. If you bring up how many chances we created last season compared to now. Now they know Lukaku is a threat man, right? And they're going to put their best men on him and so on. The whole their defensive tactic is surrounded on Lukaku, right? And we hope, and a good striker's ability is to come beyond that, and the rest of the players around him to work around him. But when you have an interchangeable front three, you don't know who to mark. That happened for Barcelona. Barcelona proved that, and now Man City, you don't know who to mark, right? And even when Pep plays, there's not just 3, there's 5 in there, right? You don't know who you're going to mark. So, but what you're missing is that killer instinct striker, right? And that's why now Salah is looking like the best player. You know, they call him the best striker, and he's the inside forward. So if we had a Salah, right, that makes your false 9 tactic 10 times better, right? Because now you have a killer striker in a guy that can play along the whole front 3. So that's how you got to look at it.
An inside forward. Yep. Well, you know, we should have that in Werner. Having, like you said, Salah, having that inside forward with whoever Kai is, the false 9, whatever, to facilitate.
Imagine Prime that Werner was actually converting a lot of his goals.
Yeah.
Right? He'll be in the talks of one of the best strikers in the Premier League.
But what we're also missing is creativity. Because buying Lukaku's all well and great, and even if he's played against Norwich in place of one of our forward 3, it doesn't matter who. I think we probably would have won 3-4-0 anyway, but I think we still would have had a bit of a creativity.
I think you would have scored as well. You probably would have.
Maybe. You think we lacked creativity last season?
Jim, can I say something?
I think last season.
Hello. Yeah.
We clear-cut chances we lacked at times.
Yeah.
However, I think
we
was
had,
also
we
just
had
a bit of
abundance of chance. We didn't convert any.
No. But I think there are times when we weren't creating clear-cut chances, but there are also times when we were missing clear-cut chances.
Yeah, we missed a lot.
But I think it was just a thing where, but it was also maybe a thing where we just needed a season for it to mesh. Because if we had Tuchel for the whole season playing with Werner, Havertz, and Mount, maybe that would have gelled a bit earlier. Thus, we might not have needed to sign Lukaku. So who knows?
I just think that the makeup of the strikers that we have right now are different to what Lukaku offers. And what I mean by that is, like, we've created a lot of chances, and we didn't have anyone to get on the end of them. Like Lukaku, that's part of the reason why I think he's so central all the time. People are like, oh, he doesn't move around enough. He's not mobile enough. I think that's actually Tuchel telling him, we need you to get on the end of these. We need you in those positions, you know, because before, when we're playing the false 9 system, we'd have guys running all over the place, and then we'd create an opportunity, and then there'd be nobody there to get in the end of it. So it's like a double-edged sword, because like we play the false 9 system, and it looks like we're at our best when we're playing that way, but at the same time, we don't generate the same sorts of, like, we don't have the box presence to have somebody in there to finish these opportunities, and that's where Lukaku comes in. While I do agree that, like, it's not every game that we need to see that particular setup, like Lukaku in the 9, very stationary, you know, occupying 2 defenders. I think we have to learn how to play that way as well, and I don't think that we have. And to be honest with you, I don't even think Tuchel has learned how to play with a striker yet, like an actual number 9.
Then Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem.
No, we don't, because actually we're first place, and we just scored 7. So
exactly.
We scored 7 without your Lukaku. Without the Lukaku, you want the coach to learn how to coach. We scored 7.
He'll be back.
We also we're a bit of like
We bring a
context, not
guy
to take
in that we
anything.
can't coach.
With a
Okay.
bit of context,
No,
not
you
to
got to
take
learn how
anything
to play
away
with
from
them. It's
them.
not about
Right,
how you coach them. You have to learn how to play with them.
Not to
Lil,
take
I
anything
stop
away
being
from
naughty.
them.
I know what you're doing.
Not to take anything away from them, because you still have to go out there and do it. But like, it was just Norwich as well. Like the 7-0 was a bit excessive.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I
Norwich
mean?
was shit though. Let's
Well,
be
listen, but
honest.
Yeah, I know.
Training
No. Again, I'm not complaining, because you still have to go out there and beat them. And I don't think
Beat
any
them,
team has
exactly.
beaten. I don't think any
Exactly.
team has done this. But like, again, if we had won like 4-5-0, like, again, that would have been fine and expected. But the
That's why,
7 is
Jem,
quite excessive.
this debate would have been ideal if we had it after playing this same formation against a very, very sound low block side.
True.
If we play against like a Burnley or like, I don't know, name the Southampton. I know that's coming up, but that's a
Newcastle.
cup game. Newcastle, traditional low block sides. Then that's when I'm going to start putting like the critique scale on Kai Havertz, because I really want to see what a lone striker can do on a low block versus what a trifecta can do on a low block. That's what I want to see for Chelsea right now, because I know our Achilles heel.
Well, we did do
season
that
was-
last year, though, right? We played that system last year.
Yeah, but we didn't have a lone striker. You're right. We did not have a lone. We only had
we
three
played the false
people,
9 system,
and it
last
didn't
year,
work
right?
with a low block, and it did
No.
not work with a low block.
Yeah, but
True.
but you say we was
True.
quite. It did work because we were effective in games. It's just we wasn't scoring as many goals. We were winning 1-0, and because we had a great defense that could contain us and win us
But
games.
I think that was the reason why we.
It's a different option to now that we got Lukaku, which is cool. But it's good to have that option if we have to switch it up a bit for whatever reason.
Exactly. I think Tuchel should use this option more, though. Like, even when Lukaku comes fit and stuff, there are certain games where it would work having playing without Lukaku and having, if you want to call Havertz a false 9 or whatever it is, if you want to have a fluid front three, like playing against City, and I know in general we all played bad, but if I don't know, if playing against City the next time we play them and we play with a false 9, or maybe against Man United, who we have coming up, and we play with a false 9, I would like to see that.
Yeah,
because it's something because everyone is now going to because everyone expects us to use Lukaku, and this whole thing of Lukaku doesn't do well in big games or whatever. Like, it is a bit of a thing where if you just mark him out, we don't have another threat. I think maybe if we try a false 9,
I disagree, Prime. You need Lukaku in the big games.
I'm not even saying we don't, and maybe United is wrong. Maybe United. I'm not saying we don't need Lukaku, and maybe United was the wrong game, whatever. I'm just saying that there are certain games where we don't have to
play. I know
like
you can play a false 9. Yeah.
Like Norwich, like Southampton, but United, City, Tottenham, Arsenal, this sort of teams, we need Lukaku there.
I don't think we necessarily. I think we can get away with it playing a false 9.
Can I ask a dumb question? Can I ask a dumb question to the panel?
Well, so
okay, really quick question to the panel. It's a dumb question too. Do you think can we feature Lukaku in a false 9 rotation?
No.
No, because you can't play him.
I don't know.
No, Lukaku can only drift the white.
Because if you guys wanted a striker to be able to feature in a false 9, we should have bought Harry Kane, like I kept saying.
No,
but how long? Lukaku
he's one of the best, but he's one of the best out there who can excel in a false 9.
This isn't FIFA, man. You know.
No. But he can excel in a false 9. Even Martial, who I don't rate highly, I guess can also do that as well.
I wanted Lewandowski. Lewandowski was my first choice.
But he was never gonna leave. There are strikers out there that could have featured in this.
We got Lukaku.
They can play as a main. They can play as a main. There are strikers out there that can play as an actual striker, but also excel having to drop in deep and play as a false 9. That we could have gotten. So that's the way you're thinking.
Can I answer Blue Ice's? I got to answer for you, Blue Ice, right?
Sure, please.
You can, right? And it's, but you need the other players, right? So let's say all of a sudden Mount becomes Killer Instinct, and we're playing. Who would you want the other player to be?
Kai Havertz, obviously. Me, Havertz.
Yeah, Kai Havertz. Let's say they've just turned it on, and their box presence is great at this point in time, right? Then when Lukaku drifts off wide, right, and those boys are in there, you feel comfortable with that. But at the time, we don't feel comfortable with that. And when I see Lukaku, because Lukaku is showing some of that trait where he goes wide, he likes that. He doesn't like his back to goal. He likes to run at players. So he's found himself in these positions before. And then when he goes to cross it in, or he tries to give someone a ball, there's no one there. And then there's no one making that last ball run. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the problem there. But if they do, then you see a front three. And you touched on it before when you said, I want to judge the trifecta or Lukaku. No, you're gonna judge the trifecta plus the trifecta with Lukaku in it. Right?
Yeah, that would be nice.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
That's how you should be judging it.
That's why I asked the question.
Pulisic is a big one too when he comes back.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And Declare's made some really good points. And listen, I would love to go on for another hour, but I can't. I've been doing 2 hours already, and I've got to shoot.
Jim, you got to give these debates like 5 hours or something.
I know. I should give this debate like 6 hours, a 6 hour stream or something, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But no, it's.
Can I just say this one time?
You say the cock.
Just real quick. I won't take up too much time. I know you got to go. I just wanted to say that I'm not necessarily pro or anti any Chelsea player. I just judge by what I see. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't have any favorites. I don't have any agendas or anything like that. I think Havertz is a talented footballer. I just need to see him produce it week in, week out for Chelsea for £70 million. That's what I want to see. Yeah, and I have no doubt that he can reach those heights. It's just we just haven't seen it yet. And
yeah, but then what you're doing is in many ways criticizing it, which is fine. There's no problems with criticizing players. It doesn't matter if they're 20 or 28. You can criticize individuals for not performing to a certain level, and that's fine. But as Chelsea fans, we need to accept that we can do that. And I think the issue that we have, especially on social media now, is that as soon as you say one little bad thing about a player, it's like you hate him, you're this, you're that, and it's not that. It's like you should be allowed to, because you want the best for your team, right? And the best for your team is that every player that plays in your team plays to a level that allows your team to become successful. Does that make sense? So this is why if you look at the Norwich game, all right, we won 7-0. And that, to be honest, because we won 7-0, I don't think we've won 7-0 since 2010. That was the last time we actually won 7-0.
I think 2013 under Rafa.
Was it under Rafa?
Against Villa.
8-0 Villa.
Yeah. But we even in that game, I thought Havertz was okay, not to the point where we can sit here and criticize him now, but it was definitely worth having the talk because of people bringing it up, and you're allowed to do that, and that's my point. You can have your views on him now and how you feel about him. Do I think it's still very early in the terms of Kai Havertz and where he is at Chelsea? Massively. Yeah. Still very young. I still think the young thing we have to take into consideration to a degree, but at the same time, he won't have as much time because at Chelsea Football Club, you have to fight for your position and you have to be very good to hold it. So he needs to find it because he has the ability. I think what stresses out everyone, and we can all agree on it, all the Chelsea fan base, is that he has everything. I think he does have everything that he needs to become a very good player. It's just that maybe where we're so critical is because we know he's got it, but we're just not seeing it as much. And maybe that just needs a bit of time. And that's why I always relate back to time. Time is important, but you can only give someone so much time, which is why I think it's important that we just wait. And these couple of games that are coming up are going to be important because we get to see more of it.
In the next two Premier League games, I want to see a Havertz.
Can I say something before you go, Jeb? Can I just say something off the subject? Not about Havertz. You will know if he's going to make it. I just want to talk about Paul Scholes' comments recently.
If you're gonna go to Paul Scholes,
let me talk
very quickly.
The toe stopper.
Scholes will say we got the worst defense in the top four. And yesterday he was talking again on some show, as a pundit. Plus, what's he doing with his daughter? That's very unusual. I think he's a pedophile and a pervert. It should be banned from TV.
Blue. I'm not too worried about what Paul Scholes is doing on this channel, mate, to be honest. He can criticize. The only thing I am worried about with him is how he criticised by saying that Man United had a better defence than Chelsea, and now
look what happened.
We need to check.
Wait, Jem, can I just say on the inconsistencies amongst our young forwards, it's a thing that happens with young players, and if it's a thing of where we're going to give them time, then that's fine, and I'm with that if we can all as a fan base agree to that. that means coming to the realization of they're going to cost us at times. Like, we might not be consistent enough to win a league title for a year or two, or say retain a Champions League or win the Champions League again.
Well,
If
that's why
everyone's
we
okay
bought
with
Lukaku.
that, no, I know, but they still need to create for him. And again, that is fine to do. I don't mind that, but I don't want to be a thing where it ends up costing our manager, because we've done that in the past.
Yeah, and we've got a great manager. Let's be serious. Someone that I actually think we can all agree on that he's the man. Like, no problems with managers at Chelsea. Trust me, we're all on the same wavelength there. So let's just support him, and I hope he does stay. I really do hope Tuchel does stay long in sort of the long term element, because we haven't had that. Something we haven't had at Chelsea is a manager that's successful and grown legacy at our football club. Yeah,
we need a manager. Yeah, like you said, long term manager. Like, in the old days, Dave Sexton, that was the manager.
Exactly. And on that note,
Mourinho's comeback was going to do that.
Yeah, well, Mourinho's, and I think he's another story. You look how many times he's moved around across Europe. It's just he's a winner, isn't he? He doesn't hang around for too long. But
Mourinho
anyway,
cool.
Moving on, guys. Thank you very much. Still to 70 of you here. Smash the like button as always. If you're new to the GNA TV, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow to do the Chelsea versus Southampton match preview as well. But other than that, good debate, guys. I enjoyed that debate show about Kai and that. We will be doing more of these debate shows throughout the weeks as we go along. And take care of yourselves. Have a good day. God bless and take care. See you in a bit.
I'm the blues.